carriage.
Go away.
How do you spell gorilla? 2 R's or 2 L's? Gorilla, gorilla. G-O-R-G-G-G-O! G-O! Just sit tight, Mr. Stevens. The gorilla will get you over our dead bodies. Dead bodies.
Pardon me, Doc. Fresh out of carrots. Low bridge. I live here. It's my home. Such as it is. Look, Doc, do I go around nailing signs over your house? Do I? There's still such a thing as private property, you know. Did you ever hear of the inalienable right of the sanctity of the home?
Forgive me, my friend. Do you like blackberry pie?
No. Did you say blackberry pie? Yum, yummy. We'll have some.
What a dumb bunny.
Of course you realize this means war.
From the empty hat, I will press the gadget, pull a live rabbit, yes. Ruta, vuta, zut, and observe, a rabbit, yes.
You didn't expect to see me again, eh, Svengali?
Go away, please, you dumb rabbit's bunny. You are for to ruining my act.
Wrong, Doc. I'm gonna help you. Let's see now. You was trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Regardez.
Come out and get the nice carrot, pretty Bonnie. I got him.
On the contrary, I've got you.
Ladies and gentle peoples, for my next illusion, I will require the assistance of a small boy from the audience.
I shall be happy to assist you, sir.
I shall now attempt to run razor-sharp swords through the basket. There's nothing for to fear. It's a trick. The swords do not penetrate. No.
Agony.
Does it hurt very much, sonny boy?
What a performance, D'Artagnan! What a performance!
If I do it, I get a whipping. I do it. Hello, oh yeah, I feel well to read.
A lost corner in New York's underworld, the dead end to hope, to love, to life itself. And these were its captives. Sylvia Sidney, trapped in a mean street that has no turning. Joel McCrae, looking for an escape through the heart of a woman.
I saw myself in these rotten holes we live in through somebody else's eyes.
All it means to you now is whether or not you get her. Well, go on and get her.
Humphrey Bogart in his greatest role, a gang war killer, with blood on his hands, a price on his head.
Mom! Ain't you glad to see me?
Claire Trevor, who found an easy way out of the dead end.
Well, what did you expect?
The dead end kids, caught in the undertow of slum life. From the gallery of unforgettable screen triumphs, Dead End is a motion picture so graphic in realism, so taut with suspense, to make each moment a gripping and thrilling experience.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening, everybody.
And if you don't know, if we haven't made enough, because we really haven't been advertising, but welcome to our 100th episode of the Scream Stream. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's party time.
We did it.
We did it. The big 100. We hit the triple digits.
And we don't look a day over 31.
No, we didn't. Yeah, it's when I started this show, I was but a young man, fresh-faced boy, and this show has seen me gone from like long hair, no beard, long beard. My look has run the gamut.
Are we ripping off Taylor Swift?
Right.
We're
Well,
going
yeah.
through our eras.
Right. We this show, and that's a little taste of what we'll be kind of going into our eras tonight, because we have watched 100 public domain horror movies, and we have been through the eras with the movies and with our own show. So tonight is a celebration of all the different eras of the Scream Stream and of public domain horror, because 100 movies. That's a lot. I didn't even know there were that many horror movies in the public domain, and that's only about half. Okay, there's plenty more where that came from.
We're not even close to done.
We're not. We're not even close. We're just scratching the surface. We're just getting this party started. So it is awesome to be here for our 100th episode. Really appreciate everybody being here tonight. I see we've already got Kathy and Sears James in the YouTube chat, and Glashra over on Twitch. Good evening, everyone. Hope our wonderful audience is doing well tonight. And again, thank you for being here with us on this special evening. And it's a finale night as well. We are celebrating the finale of season 10 and of our Summer of Schlock returns. And so we're doing it upright, as we do every finale, with a film featuring the patron saint of this show, Mr. Bela Lugosi. And yeah, give it up for Lugosi. You got to get
He's back. He's in the house.
And don't worry, we'll be giving a little special kind of salute to Lugosi later on. We'll be paying him tribute.
Okay.
I've reserved the time for it.
Okay.
It's only fitting. But no, we of course we're ending it as we do with a Lugosi film, and like last year's Summer of Schlock, what better way? Well, I mean, feel bad calling any Lugosi movie schlock, but the horror comedies that he made that are in the public domain are kind of especially, they can be considered schlocky. So
sometimes you just have to call it what it is,
right? And we certainly embraced the label last year when we watched Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla. That was the finale for the first Summer of Schlock, and that movie was schlocky and ridiculous, and poor Lugosi. Let's just say, that he got paired with a lot of comedy teams over his time, and I think Mitchell and Petrillo probably the lowest the bar ever ever was set at, unfortunately. I mean, and we got to see some of their quick-witted comedic bits and, see why they were such a successful lounge act. And, Lugosi really was the only good thing about that movie. So this year, he's paired with a different comedy team.
Yeah. What are we watching tonight?
Tonight for the 100th episode and our season 10 finale, we are watching Spooks Run Wild from 1941. This is one of the non-monogram films that Lugosi made, and it is the first horror comedy that he did for Monogram. And it's Lugosi being Lugosi,
stretching his comedy chops.
Yes, stretching his comedy chops as he runs into the East Side Kids. That is the, I guess, team. I don't know if you can quite call them a comedy team, but the East Side Kids are an interesting group, which we will also kind of talk about tonight, talk about their origins in it, because they're kind of they were around for a long time, but it's your kind of standard haunted house comedy. The East Side Kids are in this haunted house, and Lugosi's there being crazy and doing his thing. And you've also got a couple other familiar faces in there.
Okay.
So,
okay. Do we have any ghosts in the mix?
Well,
who are the spooks tonight?
I'll leave it. Obviously, Lugosi is kind of filling the main role, but he's joined by one of his faithful sidekicks, who you'll be delighted to see.
Okay.
And yes, Sears James, you're right. The East Side Kids are connected to the Bowery Boys. We will be talking about how they can remember. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was when we watched the last Lugosi movie. We watched Bowery at Midnight, where we were talking about
the Bowery
Boys, but then also we talked about how there's all these other versions of the Bowery Boys. This is the other big version, the East Side Kids. So we'll talk about how they evolved and all that tonight. And of course, like I said, talking about the man, the myth, the legend, and just running wild. And if the spooks aren't running wild, Evan's gonna be making sure that something's running wild, because as always, Evan brings us a delicious cocktail to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which this season he calls
It's Schlocktail Hour.
And what is it time for, Evan?
It's time for our last Schlocktail. I'm a little sad, honestly. It's been a great season making these weird cocktails. I've been trying to think outside of the box. We've had some big swings. We've hit a couple of times.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park sometimes, for sure.
Yep.
Had some bunts.
A few. I'd say maybe we had a couple misses. I'll leave that up to the audience.
Right.
If anyone was, unfortunate enough to be following along. But if they were, I think we can make up for it this week, because we've got a good cocktail for reflecting. This is, I think, a time to reflect and look back on these 100 movies. And whenever I'm feeling reflective, I think about being in front of a campfire. And what do you have at a campfire but a little slice of heaven that that apparently, I think that only exists here. They don't really make it in other countries.
Really?
Very American thing. Yeah, we're going all American summer with tonight's cocktail, the S'mores Run Wild.
Okay.
So what we have here is some vanilla vodka, some creme de cacao, and marshmallow fluff. And we're going to rim our glasses with graham cracker crumbs.
I like it. It's very layered. It's definitely, all the ingredients are there.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to end the season on a high note. And
Right.
if I've learned anything this season, it's that it's kind of hard to go wrong with like a dessert cocktail.
That's very true. You definitely had some past successes with the dessert cocktail.
Yeah, I think like out of all the the weird things we've been trying, excuse me, this season, I don't know about you, but my favorites were probably the one with the cereal milk and the chocolate fudge.
That was really great. Yeah, that was probably the best one this season, I would say.
And another one that I keep thinking about is that first one that we had this summer, with the Warheads infused tequila.
Oh, and that was actually
And the
ended up being
root beer.
really good.
It actually was. Like usually how I kind of like rate these in my mind are like, what would I make it again, or have I since made it again? And
Right.
I actually have. Like I had a few of those, that Warheads tequila left over, so I was drinking Geiger counters for.
Well, your first 3 or 4 cocktails this season knocked it out of the park.
We
for
were on a
sure.
good
They
streak
were,
there for a while,
you really.
and I think it was probably because of that I thought like let's really go for something a little wilder. And then maybe I went a little off the rails, but we've learned we've learned a little bit this season, I think, about
we have
why some ingredients just aren't used in some drinks.
And why we maybe don't use bacon jam. Or,
Yeah.
maybe it should have been Canadian bacon.
Maybe it could.
Yeah,
Maybe it should have.
that on theme.
So this is what we've got, a nice ghastly kind of looking
I love it. It
drink.
does look very ghostly. I love that.
So the marshmallow has, I guess, mostly dissolved, but
Still, I can see some little the little impressions. Of where the
it smells
marshmallow
exactly like a s'more.
It
I'll
does
say that.
smell like a s'more.
Okay, well, I say
Does that
we
smell.
give this a try.
All right.
So everybody, cheers to 100 movies and to 100 more. This is S'mores Run Wild.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's good.
It's good.
It's just good. It's
Yeah.
just straight up, like smooth.
It's got a bite, but it's not
It's
overpowering.
No,
It's got a sweetness to it.
It's very like mild. It kind of comes on very steady. It's not overpowering at all. And I don't know if I really got. I was like
got a lot of cracker.
I was wanting to get
crumbs.
more of the graham crackers,
Yeah.
and I didn't quite get enough. But it's I'm sure they'll seep their way in there. But it's got some body on it too, right? Like this is definitely one of those that you kind of sip and you take in.
Just enjoy it, yeah.
It's like you said, you cannot go wrong with a dessert cocktail. And now that I've kind of been sitting on it, I've got a little fire going in my throat.
Yeah.
So
you
I
got
think
that little
that's
campfire. There you go.
I think it's exactly what you were going for. So I'd say yes, yeah. It was definitely it's a hug for my mouth. That's right. That's right, Sears. Yeah, no, I mean this is pretty solid. And I mean, again, so you started the cocktail segments, pairing cocktails with the movies by our second or third movie, right?
Yeah, it was really early.
So we've had 99-ish cocktails. So I don't know that we've hit quite 100 cocktails yet, but we've had a lot of cocktails on this.
It has been a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, like you said, this cocktail is all about reflecting, which again, perfect theme for tonight, and certainly reflecting on the cocktails that we have had over 2+ years and 100 movies. I mean, yeah, I can't say that there's like your batting average is pretty high, I would say. Like you have not had
We do okay.
You really do. I mean, you have done a pretty great job. So I have to commend you for all the. I just want to give Evan a little special shout out for all the because he takes the time to, whether he's researching the recipes or it's an original and he's concocting it himself. I mean, he puts a lot of time into, actually thinking of something that will pair for whatever reason with the movie that we're watching.
Through whatever tenuous connection I can make.
And as tenuous as it is, it always ends up being the perfect thing. I think you're always kind of right on the money for the movie. I mean, again, I think that the last week's cocktail pretty par for what the movie itself was,
Right.
Very sludgy and very just kind of
it was a Bigfoot
thick.
drink. It was something a Bigfoot would drink.
Exactly.
It's not made for people.
It was that Bigfoot bait for sure. So it was perfect. And so Evan just always does a great job pairing a little drink to go with the films, and glad to have them in the future.
But I mean, it's been so much fun, I think I come in cold to these movies. I really haven't seen barely any of them, and from the jump doing the show, this was just all about for me trying new things, and I'm sure and hopefully a lot of the people at home the same deal, and it's been great to also be I didn't know much of anything about drinks or mixing flavors or anything like that, and so it's been interesting to learn both of these things kind of in parallel.
It's been a journey.
It has been
in multiple respects, and
I've learned, I think, more than anything, just like what I like and don't like.
True.
Like I could definitely, I know my way around the liquor store now. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's Evan now. I know I can go to him and be like, okay, what is this? What is it? I don't know. What is and he has turned into an expert over the course of this show. So
yeah, and I would say, if anybody is in a similar situation, you don't know anything about, making your own drinks, and maybe you want some place to start. I think the game changer for me has been like getting fresh, like the fresher ingredients always taste just really killer. Fresh citrus, fresh herbs, any kind of stuff like that. It just really kicks it up a notch. You get a dessert cocktail, get something like sweet and sour. It's something simple.
Yeah, you have definitely pushed to expand the palette. I've definitely found myself pushing, where I'm comfortable with, like, like last week, the onion, and you couldn't taste it. On top of everything else, the onion was the last.
Right, that was the least of your worries.
The least of my concerns. No, but again though, you do always you're pushing for different flavors and different tastes and different, like textures isn't the word, but
I mean, kinda, right? Like, I'm
right.
just trying to think of anything. What could you possibly? Because like that's all. Making drinks is just, you just throw some things in a mixer and you shake it up and something comes out. So it's pretty easy to just say, okay, what's here in the grocery store? What can I throw in a glass and see what happens?
And we've seen a lot of incredible cocktails.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody use marshmallow fluff.
No, marshmallow fluff is.
Oh,
I was curious how it was gonna work.
Putting a little toast on that.
Ooh, there you go. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, marshmallow fluff. I mean, hey, sign me up. I'm here for it. You got that as an ingredient. I'm all in. No, I think this is a perfect cocktail, like you said. Reflecting. We'll be reflecting a lot more tonight. Again, we'll be celebrating our 100th episode. So we'll have a little game kind of thing that it's not like a structured game. It's more kind of like scenario kind of like style thing, but we'll have fun with it. And then we'll also just kind of have some more general reflections on some of the stats and what we've watched over our 100 episodes. And of course, we will be getting into Spooks Run Wild. And this is, again, it's fitting that episode 100 is a Lugosi episode, because as we said, he is the patron saint of our show. And I mean, granted, it's schlocky because it's a horror comedy where, you know, Lugosi's whole image is played for laughs. So,
what year was this again?
This is 1941. So this is actually an early horror comedy for him.
Yeah, it's not like so late in his career that people are. I don't want to say you're laughing at him, but like there's this, kind of image of, if you've been an actor for so long, then people are going to poke fun at your image a little bit.
Right. And Lugosi had started to see that in like the 2 years before tonight's film. Again, the movie that we saw the trailer for in our pre-roll, The Gorilla, that was actually his first horror comedy. And then he made one other one and then tonight's film. So and he went on to make a few more, which we'll talk about later. But this was obviously, he wanted to get into comedy. He wanted to do something different. But we'll see. We'll see how much this kind of plays with his image. I think that...
Is he the butler in this one?
No, he's not the butler, thankfully. If you've watched this show, you know Lugosi and The Gorilla, which is a movie I love, but I think that we kind of had, it was a mixed watch for us collectively. But it was, that's Lugosi's a butler, and he had a tendency in his career to get typecast as a butler. And, will tonight's movie fall into some of the regular trappings that Lugosi characters seem to fall into? We'll see. I have seen this film, unlike I think pretty much every other film in this season I hadn't seen. But this one I watched actually more recently, like within the last year, and wasn't really paying that much attention to it. So I think, that I will enjoy.
Okay, so it's almost like you're watching
almost
it for the
like
first time.
Right, exactly. And so we'll all enjoy it together. I'm excited. Anything else before we get into it tonight, Evan?
So who's playing the CIA agent?
Yeah, I think actually Angelo Rosito is playing the CIA agent. I think that's what it is. I think this is how his character actually founded the CIA. I think that's how it it's an origin story. Who knew? Well, I think without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into our 100th feature of the Scream Stream, Spooks Run Wild, right now. Yeah, look at him. He's got top billing and everything.
He earned it.
He certainly did. So one of the people listed here is an Oscar winner. Talk about that.
Can you guess who it is?
You guess who?
Is Glenn really that person's name?
I know, we've seen Glenn's name pop up a million times. He is definitely real. I didn't think he was real either, but he is.
Sounds like a stage name.
It definitely is. Sunshine Sammy Morrison is a stage name. Let's talk about that one. Got tons of fun things to talk about. That's right, Glasstra. So Glenn, they named him Glenn. Ah, the Bowery. Spell that?
I like my arms with nice guys, huh?
Thank you, Dog Star.
Hit him with Glimpy. Go ahead.
Thank you for being here.
Catskills, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Well, we got your boys for you. Thanks, officer. They might be underprivileged, but they sure ain't underdeveloped.
I guess they got us, Smokes. Take a couple of squad cars and these Dick Tracy bracelets and
Hey, what
have your back, Wait till I write the boys on 4th Street.
Hey, where we going? Man, we going to camp.
Camp? What, have we been drafted?
I'm disappointed. I thought we was going to reform school. I would have been a sophomore this year.
Oh, kid.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want us to do with them? Deposit them in the bus.
I'll fix them cops. I'll go to the country and get sick and die and come back and haunt them. I swear.
Strap in. That's all I can say.
Oh, God. I feel like they're already running wild.
They are. It's already just off to the races. Yes, Sears. Yes, she is in Ghosts on the
We're only going to
Loose,
stop here
which
for a few minutes.
we
Just
will
long enough to
eventually.
pick up mail supplies. I hope you don't mind.
Okay, I gotta check one of those back tires anyway. Take me about 10 minutes.
Good. Say, fellas, don't any of you wander away. Look around if you want to, but don't get far away from the bus, all right? Come on, honey.
So we've seen him before. He was the hero in The Devil Bat, the reporter.
Touch the big. What? Don't touch that. I want it. That's all right. Who's driving this? Wait a minute.
These troublesome juveniles.
This is Boys Will Be Boys, the movie.
Who's driving this?
The hilarious Bowery Brothers.
Hey, it's screwing up. Come on, get out. Well, what do you know, Joe? Just get back and forth. Excited about, don't blow your top. That ain't nice.
What was the bright idea of that?
Oh, that? Just a little scientific curiosity, that's all. Law of gravitation, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I can see we're all going to have lots of fun together in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so can I. It'll be good. I ain't got no sense of humor, that's all. Say, you fellas hang around here. I'm going a little window shopping. Yeah. I don't like that guy's altitude.
Are they taking him to
If anybody thinks I'm going to stay up here and associate with him and all these cows and chickens, they're crazy.
You know, I milked a cow once. A very intricate affair. You see, a cow has 4 faucets. What for? Well, the first faucet is for buttermilk, the second for buttermilk, and the third is for evaporated milk. What's the 4th one for? Come to think of this, cow only had 3. Oh, that cow must have been contented. Oh, very contented. Are you contented? Oh, extremely so. That's fine. I don't get it.
Hey, listen. You guys lay low, see? I think I got an angle. As soon as it gets dark...
Make a break?
That's right.
We're gonna break out of this boys' camp.
Hey, I'm thirsty.
See, they're like the Three Stooges, but they're boys, so they can all just, you know, push each other around and really, you
I'll
know,
have some of that.
be okay.
It's the name of the town, silly.
Oh, that's what I thought. Give me a root beer.
Alrighty. And what do you have?
I'll have a demi-tasse and a large cup of black coffee.
A what?
I'll have a root beer, too.
And what'll you have?
You.
You're very fresh.
I hope your bread is just as fresh. Say, what are you doing tonight?
Got a date?
How about tomorrow night?
I've got a date.
How about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night?
I got a date.
Well, that kills that week. Hey, what's your name?
Margie.
Margie.
Uh-huh.
What a moniker.
Marjorie and Muggsy. Hey, that's got a lot of onomatopoeia.
We're going to camp, you know. Yeah, we're underprivileged.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement to listeners near Hillside and Colton. All citizens are warned to be on the lookout for the monster killer who is believed to be in this vicinity. This maniac has left a trail of 3 inhuman murders. and is believed heading upstate. We return you now to your program.
Ooh. Just act casual.
They don't mean nothing to us. We eat them every morning for breakfast.
Bring those monsters on. I ain't scared of them. I'm anemic. I was taken for a ride once.
Is it a monster killer or a monster killer?
There I was. Miles from
Both.
Times Square, somewhere in Central Park, I think. And them gangsters, they had me backed against a tree, and they got a machine gun saying, what do you think happened?
I don't know what happened.
He got killed.
Oh,
Fantastic, wasn't it?
All
Hey,
right.
there goes our bus.
Nice.
They put an air vested bus, didn't he?
Yeah, I've been looking for you, Jim.
Oh, hello there, Mayor. What's on your mind?
Did you hear that stuff on the radio about that monster coming this way?
Yep, and that ain't all. I just got a telegram from the state police.
Talking about a monster like it's a hurricane. See that monster's heading this way?
Just Dixon, if you don't stop pouting, I'll scream.
I'm not pouting.
Too, and for no reason at all. That's no way to enjoy a vacation.
Vacation? Are you kidding? With that bunch of gorillas, it'll be a nightmare.
They're not gorillas. They're young and a little wild, maybe. Besides, you know perfectly well the camp was boys who are denied the things you've had.
Well, all right, so they need the outdoor life. But I was hoping for a nice, quiet summer at camp so I could study my thesis and be with you. Instead of that, it's going to be as quiet around here as the funhouse at Coney Island.
Well, some excitement would do us good. It's been a dull summer till now.
Well, I like that. So now I'm dull.
No, but
Boys' camp
lawyers
seems
aren't
like a
usually
terrible place
exciting.
to study
They're
thesis.
steady and, well, solid, like the Rock of Gibraltar.
And just about as good company, I suppose. But you listen to me, Linda Mason. I may be studying to be a lawyer.
And a good one, too.
Yes, and a good one, too. Okay, you win. You're a good nurse, too.
They were actually married
Hey, you
in
know
real
that guy
life.
that runs this place? It wouldn't be bad if it
Fun
wasn't for
fact.
his disposition. Hey, he ain't no good, but that girl that hangs around with him, she ain't bad.
Hey, what's she supposed to be?
According to a uniform, I guess she's a nurse.
A nurse? Pardon me while I run a temperature.
Well, anyhow, the shower's okay.
I didn't eat it. What? It was full of bugs.
That do you mean?
I heard that nurse say with her own mouth that the thing had vitamins in it.
Man, it sure is dark in here.
I'll say, I can't even see you.
I can't even see myself.
Unfortunately, these side kids fall into some
It's
pretty
an owl.
low-hanging
I know it's an owl, but
racial
who's howling?
stereotypes.
That's an owl. It's got 4 legs and fleas.
Is that the monster?
Yeah. Yep.
How can you read in the dark? Huh? How can you read in the dark? I went to night school. Hey, shut up, will you? Let a guy go to sleep.
That's pretty good.
That
That's
was-
a good
that
one.
guy
That's
got
a
me.
good one.
Hey, Mom. What? I'm not scared or nothing like that, but remember what we heard about that guy on the radio? So? Well, suppose he was prowling around here. Don't you think we ought to stand guard or something? Yeah, you just go out and set a couple of bear traps for him. Happy dreams, Slappy.
This book is murder.
Thirsting for the flow of bright red blood. At this moment,
Nevermore.
Angelo Rosito.
Someone order a casket.
Good evening, my friend.
evening.
You are a resident here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Then perhaps you can tell me where the Billings estate is.
The Billings estate? Why, it ain't been lived in for 10 years. Not since old man Billings was murdered in his sleep.
Interesting. But you were about to tell me where it was.
Oh, sure, sure. It's up there, on the top of Billings Mountain.
Oh, I see.
Makes sense.
Is there a road to it?
Yes,
But,
Thank you. Good night, my friend.
Oh, he caught his cape in the door. What was he? What? Oh man, come on, Bela. I can't believe you did that. You know.
Oh man, if he had driven away, and I mean that would have been actually a really funny moment. This comedy. He drives away and his cape's caught in the door.
It's you.
What do you mean?
I know you. I know who he is, too.
He?
The monster. He was here just a second ago, just now. The radio said he was coming and he's here.
And you know who I am?
Of course. I read about you in this book. You're Dr. Von Grosch, and you've come here to save us from him.
Yes, I am Dr. Von Grosch.
I knew it. I knew it right away.
And the monster, did you know him at once also?
Right from the start. Couldn't miss him, with those glaring eyes and red lips. The dwarf, too, like a little black spider. And the trailer full of coffins. I was right in the middle of the book when they come in.
Where have they gone?
Said he was going to the empty Billings estate. On top of the hill.
Yes, the solitude he needs.
Yes.
Tell me, this knowledge you possess, you've gained it all from that book?
Oh, sure.
How does that
You
book
see,
end?
I'm kind of student of black magic. Oh, say, I better tell the constable you're here. You'll need help?
No, wait. We must proceed slowly, carefully. As you know, at night the monster is strong, and the police would be helpless against him.
I guess that's right.
I know that's right. Perhaps you'd like to help me.
Oh, sure, Dr. Von Grosch.
Fine. Now, first, though you may speak of the monster's arrival, you must keep my presence a secret. That is of the utmost importance. You have a room, someplace where we may converse?
Oh, yeah. I've got a cottage.
What are we doing right now?
Just take a few minutes to close up the station. There won't be any more business anyway.
Fine, I'll wait here.
That's right, Sears. One of my favorites, which we'll be talking about later.
Where are we going?
Oh, wake up the whole camp. What's the matter with you guys? Don't feel so good. I'm got a little insomnia.
Why don't you put some liniment on it?
I know where you're going. You got a date with our girl, Margie.
So I got a date with Margie. So what?
So we got a date, too, and we're gonna keep it.
You guys can't leave camp. You'll get in trouble. You gotta have a permit.
You got one?
Why, certainly.
Let's see it.
Must have left it in my smoking jacket. I quit surrounding me, will you? I'm going and I'm going alone.
That makes 3 of us going alone. Sidewalks are free.
Who ever heard of sidewalks in the woods?
Everybody else sleeping peacefully while they jabber away. Oh, there we go.
Didn't I tell you to be
quiet?
God, check out this day for night. At least in a black and white movie, it's, you know.
Looks a little bit better.
Get away with it a little bit more.
The city of the dead. Do they too hear the howling of the frightened dogs? Mariana Billings. Winter came after 18 short summers. She was beautiful.
Nash. Dugan.
Hey, you. What are you doing here?
Got him.
Must have just been the wind.
Ouch, these mosquitoes are driving me crazy.
Why didn't you put citronella on like we did?
Citronella? I thought you said vanilla. I'm giving these guys a party.
Hey, I wonder if we're heading in the right direction.
Ah, you got nothing to worry about, pal. I got my compass with me.
Well, which way are we going?
So dark I can't see the compass.
Here, I'll give you a little light.
That's a fine thing. Someone stole one of the hands off.
Somebody stole one of the hands. You must have been a magician. A compass only has one hand.
Well, why don't somebody loan me those things?
Come on, let's get out of this shell hole.
Nice.
What if this is a cow trail or the state highway? A nice place for a picnic. You run out of toothpicks, you can use pine needles.
Why don't you look where you're going?
What are you looking for?
Remember what we heard on the radio about that ghoul, that guy that sucks all the blood out of you?
What would he be doing out here, sucking the sap out of the trees?
Hey, does the guy really suck the blood out of you?
Yeah.
Well, I got nothing to worry about because the mosquitoes got all mine. Ow! That was a Messerschmitt.
Hey, what if he really was out here?
What if you was back home?
Yeah?
Your old man would give you a hit in the head like that.
I ain't got an old man.
The kid's an orphan.
Oh, my God.
Oh, tripping, huh? You know, it's a 5-yard penalty for that.
Come on, let's move.
Just wandering through the woods aimlessly.
Bob Wyatt, hold it. Hope there ain't no bulls over here.
Hey, hold it for me now, will you? Come on, Muggs.
Yeah, I'm holding it, I'm holding it. Come on, Slim. Hey, Doc.
Start scrapping. Time to scrap.
What are you guys doing here? Why aren't you back in camp? Oh,
I saw another boy and my instincts just kicked in.
I can see my date with Marchie's going to be about as private as...
This is how we solve all our problems out of the Bowery. Nice. Yeah, Sears, I guess you're right. I guess this is technically like a summer camp horror movie. Who would have known that the genre started back in the 40s?
Well, no one's lived in the old Gothic castle for 10 years.
Oh, yeah, you know how I can get up there? Why do you want to go up there? Oh, no reason.
You know, I'm starting to think we're lost.
Yeah, we should have been in town a long time ago. I'd get back to camp if I knew the way.
Ah, quit drooling. You're getting me wet. Why didn't you guys to follow me in the first place?
Because it's night. It's dark.
Right. Yeah, just stick close together.
Hey, a graveyard. We can't be far from town. Come on, let's cut across it. It may be a shortcut.
If it's all the same to you, Muggs, I'd like to detour.
Oh, come on, you chump. We'll be out of it in a minute.
How long is a minute? That's too long, brother.
Stop! After you catch me, I'll stop.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, goddamn.
Got him. Jesus.
Well, we're down one boy.
We're down. By the end, there will just be East Side Kid.
Way up down, top of the hill. Cozy looking place, ain't it?
We ain't looking for no Ritz-Carlton. We're looking for a place to get Pee-wee patched up. Come on, let's go.
Oh, there's somebody there.
And that is going to take us to our first break. So, as you can see, the plot is just swiftly breezing along here.
It's moving, but honestly, I kind of appreciate that.
if there's one thing these Poverty Row Lugosi movies know how to do, it's how to really, stress the economy of an hour. That's all you have is an hour. So they don't waste any time getting right into it. And so, yeah, I mean, we've already seen Lugosi a couple times, not doing anything too crazy so far, but, we've seen him moving around.
Yeah, this graveyard guard or whatever, he's seeing a lot of action tonight. Is it always so busy here in the graveyard?
Well, with the way those wolves are howling outside, that's any wonder. I mean, you got to think any town that already has the gossip spreading that there's a monster on the way.
Okay, he's out patrolling.
Right, yeah. I mean, what are you...
He's just shooting first and asking questions later. Anybody who walks into gun range could be the monster. Ergo.
See, that's the thing. That's why this is the monster. They don't treat it like a hurricane. It's not like everybody's coming out, with their guns ready to shoot at the hurricane like that's going to do anything. Here, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get this monster, but how do you know you're going to be effective against some blood-sucking monster? Which, again, there's obviously kind of supposed to be this idea of a blood-sucking monster. They're not saying the word vampire.
Yeah.
But that's essentially what they're trying
with
to
all
do.
the howling. I mean, I thought it was going to be a werewolf or just a wolf. When they talk about I heard on the news, I think this week, either in Paris or maybe somewhere in England, somewhere over there in Europe, they were talking about there was a wolf on the loose in the woods outside of some town.
Oh my God.
That's had everybody, astir.
It's a real problem.
It really is. They probably are listening to the radio that there's a monster on the loose in their town.
Those are the real monsters you got to look out for. The
wolves,
giant wolves roaming around on the outskirts of our cities. No, I mean it's Lugosi, so obviously you want to play on the whole Dracula image. I guess they are. Well, but they're afraid to even use the word vampire because they don't want to get sued by Universal. So there's no use of the word vampire whatsoever. The script was originally titled it was originally titled Trail of the Vampire, but changing it.
Okay. Well, so far, they've been too busy, or, these boys have been too busy jabbering with each other for anybody to use the word vampire.
Right. I mean, either jabbering or scrapping, quipping or scrapping, one or the other. They're
just being boys.
Being boys, these East Side kids. And that was the thing, like, the whole reason that they got together with Lugosi was that the same producer was basically involved. Like, Lugosi had started working with this guy, Sam Katzman, the year before this with Invisible Ghost, which we had watched previously on the show. And I think I keep thinking Gas House Kids, but that's not even related to the East Side Kids. But the East Side Kids started also in like 1940, I think. And so I think they had already made like 3 or 4 movies. This was like their 5th movie. So the producer was like, well, let's put together this really popular like series, this like comedy, which they weren't even a comedy team. Like, that's the thing. The whole like origin of these characters basically started with a completely unrelated group entitled the Dead End Kids. And they were first featured in a movie entitled Dead End, which we saw a trailer for in the pre-roll. And there ended up being like a series with them at Warner Brothers.
Okay.
And
they kind of seem like they're from a place called Dead End.
Right, yeah. Dead End is, it doesn't seem like they're getting very far, does it? I mean, they're,
it feels like we've been watching like a like a long lost ancestor of Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's certainly that same kind of, I guess, like, I don't want to say style of humor, but in a way, that idea of, oh, okay, here's just these regular kids just out here on the streets,
Being
just
hooligans,
just getting into shenanigans. Like, I mean, it's definitely, kind of channeling the same energy for sure. But they had 5 movies with the Dead End Kids at Warner Brothers, which also the first few featured like, Humphrey Bogart, and we're actually going to see a trailer for their most famous one that they did as the Dead End Kids, and that's entitled Angels with Dirty Faces, and that also has oh gosh, what's his name? James Cagney, who was famous for playing gangster roles, but then also later played Lon Chaney Sr. in the biopic about Lon Chaney Sr. It's not a very good biopic, but it's really cheesy. And Cagney's good, but it's just a little cheesy, and the makeup is bad. Which, when you're making a movie about one of the greatest actors / makeup men, the makeup being bad is kind of like a cardinal sin.
Oops.
They just had like cheap mask replicas of Lon Chaney's like Phantom and his Hunchback, and it's like obvious it's a mask, and it's just like, all right, I know, I don't expect old James Cagney to be putting on all this makeup. Like, Lon Chaney was literally like making himself bleed and like making himself pass out in these makeups. So
they call him the man of 1,000 cheap rubber masks.
Right. Well, yeah, the man of 1,000 latexes. Yeah, I don't know that quite has the same ring to it. But yeah, so but Angels with Dirty Faces, we're gonna see that trailer in our break, and that's got a little prominent scene with an interaction between James Cagney and the leader of the group, who's played by, in all of these series, almost all these series, by Leo Gorcey, who is the lead in tonight's movie. He's playing, of the Bowery Boys, he's playing Muggs, the shorter one who's always in the middle and always leading the way.
The Eddie type.
Yeah, the shorter, like the
leader,
the mastermind. Yeah. And the big dumb doofus is which again just fit into the types. That's Hunt's Hall, and they were both interchangeable in a lot of these. And essentially, like, at the same time you had the Dead End Kids movies at Warner Brothers, Universal started a series called The Little Tough Guys.
The Little Tough Guys. Come on.
And the Little Tough Guys used some of the same. Sometimes they were credited as like the Dead End Kids as the Little Tough Guys. It doesn't make any sense. And then both these series were being produced at the same time. Like, and then when Katzman started making East Side Kids movies, that was the East Side Kids movies and the Little Tough Guys movies were being produced at the same time, and would just use the guys interchangeably. And it's like, was there really that much demand for these kinds of like movies? What the hell is going on here? But I mean, they must have been popular because there were 20 East Side Kids films. I mean, tonight's is the 7th that they made, and they ended up doing 20 of those. And the thing is, the Dead End Kid, when they were the Dead End Kids, the movies were more focused on like they were problem teens, right? They were rough and tumble teens who were they were good kids, but they were just in a bad situation. So a lot of the movies took this kind of social kind of stance, but then when they did they became the East Side Kids, it was more, they leaned into the comedy aspect more, which you can see tonight's movie. Even though it starts as them, they're troubled, underprivileged kids, they gotta go to this camp. It's just steadily devolved into,
But they also get in wacky shenanigans.
Right. So it's just kind of,
And there's a vampire. There's a monster.
There is a monster. Let's just use the general term, a monster on the loose. And so it's just kind of, which again, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Glasser, you're 100% right. The Dead End Kids, all these groups are just kind of a middle point between Little Rascals and the Our Gang comedies and then like the Three Stooges. This is definitely like the teen kind of skewing version of those groups, which is funny enough. Two of the members of the East Side Kids in tonight's movie were former Little Rascals, Our Gang members. The lone black member of the East Side Kids, Scruno is the character's name, but the actor's name is Ernest Sunshine Sammy Morrison. He was actually the first African-American actor to be signed to a contract, like studio contract, as a member of the Little Rascals back when they were called Our Gang. And he, like, towards the end of his career, I mean, he was making $225 a week. So like $4,000 a week in today's money.
Wow.
So he was
pretty good.
He was making pretty good money, and he ended up leaving Our Gang and then was on vaudeville for a long time and worked with like Abbott Costello, and then toured around the world, and then eventually got contracted to be in the East Side Kids. And unfortunately, like, that's the thing, the Little Rascals stuff he did, you know, there were obviously stereotypes, but he kind of was able to avoid, you know, stereotypes. Whereas here in the East Side Kids, he was they kind of lead into that, unfortunately. So, but, you know, and then there's one of the other, I guess, lesser members in the Kids tonight who I don't even know what his name is. Skinny. I don't know that we've registered who Skinny is yet, but he was a later Little Rascals member, and this was his last film. He was conscripted into World War II after this, and then died killed in action during the Battle of Kasserine Pass in Tunisia. So he was like over in, he wasn't even in like the, you know, European theater. He was like over in the African theater. I don't know my World War II geography, but yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. The Kids were kind of made up of like actors that had been in, you know, kind of more popular series, you know, and obviously Monogram. This was a Poverty Row studio. These movies were being made in a week for very little money. So, you know, it's obviously getting a high level of quality, but you know, that's eventually we got the Bowery Boys. Was that the leader, the Eddie of the group, Leo Gorcey, decided he wanted more money, started the Bowery Boys on his own.
Such an Eddie move.
Yeah, and the Bowery Boys ended up lasting the longest. They had 48 films. And
they bought a lot of jawbreakers.
So many jawbreakers, and they, you know, made their tongues giant, swelled up. And and so the second trailer we're gonna see is for one of the Bowery Boys horror comedies entitled Bowery Boys Meet the Monsters. And you'll be able to see it's kind of, they really just totally lean in. They're not boys anymore, but by the time that movie is like 1950 something. So that's 10 years after this movie.
The Bowery Men.
Which in this movie they're not even boys. They're really in their 20s here. So, you know, you get another 10 years, they're pushing their 40s, and it's like, come on, you're not boys anymore. Why are we calling these guys the boys? But they kept the shtick going
boys, okay?
They kept it. They milked it for all it was worth. They kept it going as long as they could. So, we're gonna get these. We're gonna get a Dead End Kids trailer, and we're gonna get a Bowery Boys trailer. And then we come back, we're going to play a little, we're going to, you know, in the spirit of reflecting for our 100th episode, we're going to play a fun little kind of, what's the word? Just some hypotheticals game.
Okay.
And Evan's going to play, and we're going to, it's going to involve the many monsters that we've encountered in our journey through the public domain horror world. So, Enjoy these trailers, and we'll get into it when we get back. Stick around. We will be right back.
The slums of the big town, as packed with drama and danger as the squalid streets of some native quarter. In the heart of this melting pot of crime stands an oasis, where one man struggles against the forces that turn his loved ones to lives of violence and shame. Into this atmosphere walks the most ruthless character you have ever seen on the screen. A killer returning to the slums that nurtured him and to the man who, strangely enough, had been his boyhood comrade. From the meeting of this strange pair evolves the most devastating blast of drama to hit the screen since Public Enemy. Angels with Dirty Faces.
Morning, gentlemen. Nice day for murder.
Where's Frazier?
Where's that $100 grand?
Think we're gonna pay off, huh?
Certainly. If I don't get that dough in 3 minutes, Frazier's gonna be splashed all over the best hideout in town.
I'm gonna use your case as a crowbar to pry open and uncover this cesspool. I'm gonna force the law, corrupt or not, to indict and prosecute and bring to light of day this entire filthy mess.
Asking questions again, huh? Listen. Some of these days you're gonna stick your nose in, you're gonna get something in it.
Well, I only thought it was...
Shut up! Now look, you don't know anything about this, see?
No, I don't know nothing.
But you do know what guys get who talk.
Yes, Laurie, we both love him. I've loved him since we were kids, 6 years old.
Why are you trying to send him to prison for life? You can't do that to Rocky. I won't let you.
You see, Laurie, there's all those other kids in the streets whom I don't want to see grow up like Rocky did. You see, Laurie, they have lives too. I can't throw them away. Sullivan picked me up at my home. He's got everything that was in my safe. Account books, receipts, names, addresses, bank books, everything. If he's prosecuted for this kidnapping, he'll talk.
I'm taking care of this job myself. Get Blackie up here right away.
Now listen, Mac. I don't care how you handle Sullivan, but it's got to look like an accident with that priest.
Leave that to me.
All right, give him the tear gas.
Rocky, what are you doing up here? Go on, get out of here, beat it! What's the matter with you? Want to get your skull full of lead? I thought you were smart enough trying to stick your kids in a place like this.
I couldn't stand by and watch him shoot you down, Rocky.
You'll get those hysterical, hilarious horrors when you join those Bowery boys as overnight guests in a mansion of merry maniacs.
We just want your heads. Well.
Oh, well, if you said that in a our heads!
Uncle Anton, the scientific stoop.
Would you like a high cut or a low cut, sir?
Oh, I'd like a low cut.
Uncle Derek, the medical madman.
What is it you're trying to say?
Help!
Cousin Francine, the fluff with the stuff.
I mean business.
Aunt Amelia, who's no camellia. The butler Grisson, he's gruesome. The family tree, a man-eating honeysuckle.
Boy, oh boy, I feel just like a space cadet. This will register his brain potential.
My friend here has a vacuum-packed head.
The Bowery boys get the heebies, the jeebies, the willies, and the shakes, while you get the laughs of the year.
Gentlemen, I have
a suggestion. 50-50.
No. Routine 6, Satch.
Oh, no.
And we are back. So that was the trailers for Angels with Dirty Faces and the Bowery Boys Meet the Monsters. And as you can see, pretty varied career there for the Dead End Kids, East Side Kids, Bowery Boys. Pretty ridiculous.
Would you say that they got to be like lifetime child actors?
Essentially, like Evan noticed, he was like, when the Bowery Boys trailer came on, he was like, is he wearing the same hat? And talking about Leo Gorcey's character, was like, yeah, that's his part of his thing, is that they're just wearing the same hat and the same, you know, that's just all part of the shtick. They didn't really change it very much over the 20-ish years that they played these kinds of characters.
It makes him look a little more boyish.
It does. You can give him that, right? It works.
It's not as effective as a like a hat with a propeller on it would be, but
right. Well, I think that's the what Hunts Hall, his hat kind of looks like in a lot of those. He's wearing the propeller hat, I think. I don't know. I can't say that I've watched too many Bowery Boys, but I know TCM used to play him a lot, and I just couldn't really get into him, to be honest. But that's why it's, hey, you know, this is the early days. This is their East Side Kid days. Seen them hanging out with Lugosi, which is what we're about to see. But before we do that, again, we're celebrating our 100th episode of the stream. This is our 100th feature. And, you know, in celebration of that, it's, like Evan said, reflection is a big theme tonight. And so we're going to kind of play a little hypotheticals game to reflect on the many movie monsters that the public domain horror world has brought us over the 2+ years that we've done this show. So this is the hypothetical, Evan. So you have been tasked with assembling an Avengers-style monster squad. Different. So what we have is different styles of a like horror character, right? We've got vampires and werewolves and zombies and apes and mad scientists and all these things. So we've been presented with a fair number of all of those over the course of this show. So you are going to assemble your team. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the style of monster, and I want to see if you just off the top of your head can remember any, and then I'll give you some of the others that you can't think of, and I'll let you pick. And I've got a good number of different kinds of monsters here, but we'll do a few, and we'll see if you want to do more. We'll go through more, but we'll start with an easy one here. So this is so imagine you're picking the Tony Stark of your Avengers monster squad. It's obviously going to be your vampire, right? More than likely.
Sure, yeah.
It's gonna be your kind of a big, big like wow factory. This is your RDJ factor.
In the monster lineup, the vampire is pretty high tier.
So of the vampires that we've been presented on this show, are there any that you come to your mind that stand out that you remember? Any vampire movies that you remember?
Well, I mean, the big one really is gotta be Nosferatu.
And I knew that, Nosferatu's probably gonna be the vampire pick out of all these that I have here on the list.
Yeah, because we haven't been able to see Dracula, and that's kind of the other big one, I think.
And it's essentially the same character, right? And if anything, Nosferatu's a little more intimidating. If you want, you want your monster squad to kind of be the opposite of your superhero squad. So you want a really ugly,
off-putting
vampire. Yeah, so Nosferatu's kind of now
not charming. He's terrifying.
If you wanted to kind of strike a middle balance, you could go with the vampire from Dead Men Walk, Elwyn, played by George Zucco.
Right.
He was the vampire with the twin. And
twin brother
yeah,
vampire.
and he could dissolve through walls and maybe was in some kind of incestuous relationship with his niece. I don't know. It was kind of a weird movie. Of course, if you don't even want to go a human character, you could go with the Devil Bats from The Devil Bat. You just want to go with an actual vampire bat. I think those are monsters in their own right. And I'm going to consider this a vampire. I don't know, you may disagree with me, but I think that Audrey Jr. from Little Shop of Horrors is a vampire. I mean, maybe cannibal because it really blood was like
it does eat blood
where it started.
It's
right?
a man eater.
It's a man eater at the least. So I don't know, maybe not quite a vampire, but I kind of did group it in the vampire category. Also not quite a vampire, but I grouped in there was the mad scientist Dr. Von Neumann from The Vampire Bat. Because remember, he's not an actual vampire, but he is
technically not the
removing
vampire.
The blood from people's bodies for some kind of creature that he has in his lab.
He's for all intents and purposes a vampire.
Might as well be. He's using mind control, so he's got that power, right? He got mind control, so that's a plus. But I think Nosferatu's going to be the pick there, right?
Yeah, for my villain squad, he's heading up the team.
Then obviously you gotta have your wild card. You gotta have your psycho killers, right? And we've had a lot of psycho killers over the course of the movies that we've watched. I don't know, are there any that right off the top of your head stand out to you?
The Sadist.
Charlie from The Sadist. He's at the top of my list too. Charlie he's a Charlie. He's a wild card, and
he'd be scowling the whole time.
Yeah, and with his bow legs and that was a great movie and a great performance. He's definitely the craziest. But I have a few more. You could go a little more artistic maniac. You could go Walter from A Bucket of Blood. He's a little more cool.
He was suffering for his art, but the people he killed were suffering
a little more. On the same lines would be Gaston from Bluebeard, who also he was a puppeteer, right?
Right.
Puppeteer. So we've got these sympathetic maniac artists. That's kind of a trend we've had in some of these movies. Of course, who could forget? If you want a really violent maniac, you could go with Reno from The Driller Killer.
Ooh, yeah.
Which if you're trying to like power stack your team, the guy with the drill. He's gonna and he's no holds bar. I mean, he was killing anybody. So he was pretty. But I will throw a pretty. Like, this is a dark horse contender. You don't think about him, but then when I'm saying, you're like, oh, maybe this guy, because who could forget the most stylish of all the psycho killers I feel like we've seen on this show, which would be Sweeney Todd from the Demon Barber Fleet Street.
How could I forget?
I mean, Todd Slaughter is just a revelation.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if I could handle him being on my team, though. I feel like I would.
He might try to sabotage it for his own game. Right? Yeah, I don't know.
See, that's the hard thing about trying to run a league of villains.
Yeah,
everybody's just bound. Somebody's bound to betray everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I also have like the Phantom from the Phantom of the Opera, Zaroff from Most Dangerous Game. I think even Cesare from Caligari. I mean, I think technically he's a killer, He's being hypnotized into it, but
wild card.
Definitely a wild card. So I don't know. You've got some options there. It's a little more. Charlie's definitely a good one, but Sweeney Todd gives him a run for the money. So I don't know. You got some picks there. But and then Charlie is really pretty good. And let's see, we'll get one more. Let's go with mad scientist. What do you think? So one of the first ones we had was Dr. Maria Frankenstein from Jesse James Meets Frankenstein.
Well,
I don't know if remember how much she chewed up the scenery. She was forced to be reckoned with.
I think can I just say Bela Lugosi? I mean, in any of his
I do have Lugosi's role as Vornoff from Bride of the Monster on here. I think that's, in terms of the mad scientist roles, that's kind of like that's kind of the most iconic one that we've seen. I mean, he also plays a mad scientist in The Ape Man, but I put that under the category of apes. Dr. Brewster is a contention for your ape, because I do have the ape category.
Right. Well, if we're gonna round out this super squad, so we've got our leader, our wild card, our mad scientist, and we need an ape just to round out the team.
But you've also I put Bigfoot on there. I got Bigfoot? The Yeti from Snow Beast on there.
Okay.
I got Angina from Son of Ngagi on there.
Yeah.
I got the Missing Link from Horror Express, which also falls under the alien category. If you're gonna bring an alien in there, I think. That's gonna
that's such a hard pick.
And it's tough. And then and then Duke Mitchell, the ape from Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla.
See,
I don't know.
My heart really wants to say Crash Corrigan, but I don't know if that's a valid pick. I would want to
I think that's valid.
Either him or Bigfoot. I think I want to turn one of them into a villain. And they're on my villain squad.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think some of the other monsters I have here could make up the villain squad. I mean, obviously, I have a witches warlocks category, which I put Lugosi's character Murder Legendre from White Zombie in that, because I mean that's some kind of like a warlock, right?
Yeah, he's got some kind of magic there.
I put the Master from Manos.
That's the one where he's doing the
hand
thing, right?
Yeah. I got that. I mean, that's the thing. So I ended up making this little kind of list of all of just different, even their lair, their home base. I have different old dark houses. You got your House on Haunted Hill house.
I love this. Are we just playing Dungeons and Dragons right now?
Kind of, yeah, you can take all the different characters and locations from these public domain horror movies and just create a whole role-playing game. That's essentially what we have here.
We're playing fantasy football.
We are
really fantasy.
We are. Again, when you watch 100 horror movies, you're gonna get this kind of a world-building scenario here that we have. So eventually, you're gonna get universes and crossovers and all. So we're building. But yeah, that's just a little. That's a little taste. We've again. Can't recap or recount all 100 movies, but that's a fun little way to kind of play around with reminiscing through some of the memorable characters. Are there any others though that just before we start to get into the exciting middle of
just anything else we want to just remember?
Spooks? And it will reflect a little later on.
Or are we still on my team?
Is there anything else with your team? Because I do have some other, but is there anybody else you'd add to your team? We got some ghosts, we've got some werewolves, obviously.
They're just one, and it's got to be that skeleton from House on Haunted Hill.
Ooh, okay, that's a pretty good ad. He does have the power. He's really strong.
Yeah,
he pushed that lady into that vat of acid.
Right. I assume he comes with the vat of acid.
He would have to. That's his
That's his whole thing.
Yeah, that's like his
a skeleton that pushes you into a vat of acid. That's it.
Where's the vat of acid come from?
How do you beat that?
Yeah, right. You don't. And I mean that's kind of think that's appropriate. I think that he's a skeleton. He can do whatever he wants. I think he's earned that right. So yeah, I think Evan's got a pretty solid team. I think again, there's plenty of other monsters and you know things that you could add if you wanted to, but I'd say Evan's got a pretty solid squad on his hands. I think if they've got to go and fight the Avengers, I think that I think Nosferatu's going to lead a pretty good squad in there.
Watch out, Tony Stark.
Yeah, Nosferatu's coming for you. I mean, again,
can we please? Can we have a seance and talk to the ghost of Stan Lee and see if we can get this greenlit?
Oh yeah,
I really want to see this now.
I think. Well, look, at the very least, we can do all these guys because they're public domain, baby. That's the beauty of this whole show. So yeah, again, all part of this celebrating the public domain, what the joys that the public domain has brought us every Friday night. And so we'll see what other joys are in store tonight as we go into the exciting middle of our 100th feature film, Spooks Run Wild. Where we left off, one of the boys just got
shot,
pumped full of buckshot.
They really shot that kid in this movie.
They shot that kid.
We're watching
this underprivileged youth. They just shot him in the cemetery, and now they're going up to this abandoned mansion that Lugosi is trouncing around.
Get this guy patched up.
Yep.
They've got to go find a veterinarian or something.
Well, I think Lugosi's probably operated on a dog or two in his time, so I think that this I almost called him a Bowery boy. I think this East Side kid will be just fine. Well, on that note, I think we're gonna go ahead. Wait, did I ask you? Is there anything else before we get into it?
So if anybody wants to, if we have any illustrators in the audience, anybody wants to draw some fan art for the show, I want to see a Hulk as Frankenstein.
Somebody's already done it, but go for it. But
that's our crossover.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting middle of Spooks Run Wild right now.
Say there, can we come in? Our pal here is hurt, and we want to get him to a doctor.
No lines for Angelo Rosito, I guess.
He spoke in Scared to Death, didn't he?
No, in The Corpse Vanishes, which those were the three movies they were, Lugosi and Rosito were paired together. This, Corpse Vanishes, and Scared to Death.
We have visitors?
And yes, Glasher, he was in Freaks, and then he was also in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
But I don't think
Angelo Rosito had a very long, storied career.
Listen, Schooner, the next time you come out of the dock, put a coat of whitewash on, will you?
I'm so scared I'm turning white now.
I wish that guy hurry up. I'm getting tired.
Ow! Good evening. I must apologize for the state of my home. It has been without occupants for many years.
Well, look, our buddy here's been hurt. We was going through the cemetery taking a shortcut to town, and somebody took a pot shot at him.
How unfortunate. He should lie down.
Don't you think we ought to get a doctor?
Perhaps later. Come with me.
Nah, he'll be fine. He doesn't be fine. He just needs to lie down.
Easy. Put his feet up there. Well, how about calling a doctor?
There's no telephone here. However, I have some knowledge of medicine. I will treat you, friend.
Oh, that's
I
comforting.
suggest you wait outside.
Yeah,
or better
I'll
still,
do it.
in my study. Thank you.
Yeah, I've medicined before.
Okay. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, I know a little bit about treating gunshot wounds.
Well, I'm
See
sure
you later.
Lugosi actually did, having been in the war.
Use your monster healing powers.
Yo.
We've looked everywhere, not a sign of them.
Did you look down by the lake?
Yes, everywhere.
What are you going to do?
Nothing?
Well, Jeff, we've got to find them. They're city kids. If they're lost in the woods...
I hope they are.
Jeff, do you know what they're saying?
They're city
I certainly
kids. They don't know how to survive in the
Trouble
woods.
from the beginning. If they're lost, it's their own fault.
So you're going to sit there all night.
Which begs the question why you bring these
what are you
city
gonna
kids
do?
out to the
If
woods
you're
in the
not man
first
enough to go
place.
after them, I'll do it myself.
But Linda...
Hey, maybe she's serious.
She's been reading Florence Nightingale. She'll be back when she gets tired.
Hey, I don't like the looks of this place.
Neither do I. Let's get out of here, huh?
Hey, yeah, let's get out of here. What, leave Pee-wee here? We gotta wait till he's doctored up.
Hey, do you think that bird up there's all right? What if he's
What if he's what?
I don't know, but I sure hope he hurries up.
Me too.
What's the matter?
There's a skeleton in there. He was slapping right in my face.
Yeah, what's he
I'm
so
afraid
happy
of
about?
skeletons.
Back in the 40s when
Go on,
everybody
go on.
was
Go on,
afraid
look
of
for yourself.
skeletons.
Good.
There ain't nothing in there.
Terrified, a tiny little skeleton.
So a little skeleton face is gonna get
Look at
me.
that. I seen it with my own eyes.
Do you feel all right, kid?
I never felt better in my life. But I think we ought to get out of here, huh?
Without Pee-wee?
We'll go up and see what's wrong with Pee-wee now, huh? Come on. Up there first.
Nice. Yep. Buddy system.
How's Pee-wee?
Pee-wee? Oh, your friend. He's resting well.
Well, we want to see him.
I suggest you should not disturb him.
We ain't got to disturb him. We just want to see him. Hey, Pee-wee. He's dead.
Not at all. He's merely asleep.
Yeah? What'd you do? Give him a Mickey or something?
No, your friend was in pain, and I found it necessary to give him a mild sedative. You see, I've given him the proper treatment.
Well, how are we going to get out of here with him like that?
Well, leaving is out of the question. Your friend must not be moved.
But we got to get back to camp.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Vitamins or no vitamins.
Oh, he's talking about food. We can't leave Pee-wee here alone.
That will not be necessary. My home is not equipped for visitors, but Luigi prepared rooms for you. You will be my guest for the night. Come, I show you to your rooms.
That's fine, but one of us is staying here. Hey, Scruno, you keep Pee-wee company.
Hurry. Who, me?
Yeah, you. We'll take turns. I'll relieve you later. Okay, Mr.
You will notice this is a very old house. In some respect, a very strange one.
That's a classic Lugosi line.
A lot of weird things happen here at night, boys.
The maid service in this hotel is terrible.
Horrible.
Hey, Glimpy. You and Skinny take that room.
Just me and Skinny?
What do you want, a nurse?
Glimpy and
Don't forget to call me
Skinny.
every half hour, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell the operator.
A very charming room in a repulsive sort of way.
Hey, this looks like one of those beds George Washington slept in.
Well, it's about time they changed the sheets. Let's get some light on this subject, huh?
I understand this room was occupied by the late owner of this house at the time of his death. I hope this knowledge will not disturb your sleep. Luigi has placed a candle somewhere, I'm sure. Good night.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on. Oh, you know your way around here better than us.
Good night.
Wait, what did he just say?
Night.
He'll find a candle.
Go ahead.
No, I'll follow you.
We'll both go together.
Okay.
So when they said that Luigi prepared these
maybe I better
rooms,
Oh, wait a minute.
Prepared is a real loose.
Yeah, you said that
You know,
once.
it's a definition. Not being very strict with it.
maybe they mean he found
You know
these
something?
bedrooms.
I like this room much better in the dark, and I don't like the dark. Get a load of this joint, will you? Is this murder? No wonder the guy died.
Forgive me if I startled you. You would perhaps like this candle. Good night. Good night.
Can you sound any more sinister?
That's the thing. I mean, his whole job is to just go around and be sinister.
Well, that'll really freak him out.
Hey, great job preparing the rooms, Luigi.
I look like an idiot now.
Jim, this thing's gone far enough.
What thing?
You know doggone well what thing. You seen Lem Harvey?
Yes.
Well, why haven't you gone up the hill and arrested that fella?
Mayor, you can't go around arresting folks until you know for sure. You gotta have proof.
Proof? You know that monster was headed this way. Radio said so. The state police wired you. Lem Harvey saw him with a trailer full of coffins. A crazy killer running around loose butchering women and children. What kind of proof do you want? Some little girl murdered out in the woods? I tell you, Jim, you gotta do something.
Well, take it easy, Mayor. I'm doing all I legally
mayors
can.
haven't
I've
changed.
sworn in a lot of deputies, and I'm going to have every inch of road within 20 miles of this village patrolled every hour of the day.
All right, Jim, but it's your responsibility. You've been elected to protect the women and children of this community, and it's up to you to do it. And don't forget, we've got that boys' camp on our hands, too.
Why don't you lay down, Muggs, and try to get some sleep?
Yeah, I don't feel like sleeping. You know, there's something funny about that bird. Besides, I'm worried about Pee-wee.
Yeah, I know it. So am I.
Well, let's go see him.
Okay.
Well, all right.
Let's go.
Hello.
What's the matter with you?
We can sleep in our room. It ain't cheerful like this one. Hey, where you going?
We're gonna see Pee-wee.
Hey, that's a good idea. Come on.
Who is that? Who is us?
Us is me.
What's the matter with you, Schooner?
Ain't nothing the matter with me, it's him.
He been like that all the time?
Man, he ain't moved a muscle. I think he's dead.
Hey, Pee-wee. Hey, Pee-wee. That clinches it. Now we're gonna get tough. You watch Pee-wee.
Like the little tough guy.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
Muggs, you got the wrong man for this job. I'm better in the crowd.
Look, you heard him, didn't you? Let's go.
Yeah, and keep your eyes open.
You don't think I'm gonna stay in here for 1 minute and close them, do you?
We gotta start saying that. That clinches it. Now we gotta get tough.
Pee-wee, you ain't dead, is you? Say you ain't. If you can't say nothing, just shake your head.
Nobody in here.
Let's look somewhere else.
Well, let's go in.
I sure is glad you was awake. Man, we've been worried about
Mina,
you.
you're awake.
Yes, sir. Feeling better now, don't you?
Uh-oh.
Don't you hear me talking to you, Pee-wee? What's the matter with him? Hey! Say, come on, Pee-wee, open the door, will you? Come on, stop playing, will you? Come on, hey. Hey, open this door, I want to get out of here!
Has Linda shown up?
Not yet.
When she does, tell her I've gone to town to see the constable. We'll probably need a searching party.
Okay.
That clinches it. That guy's a monster. We're getting Pee-wee and leaving here.
Hey, maybe he's done something to him. Maybe Pee-wee will be like he is.
I don't know about that, but we're leaving before we find out.
Hey, do you think that guy's dead like it says?
What's the matter with you? Can't you read? It says here that in the night he prowls about seeking new victims. And in the daytime he sleeps in a coffin.
Well, let's wait till daytime, huh?
We ain't waiting for nothing. We're going right now.
Remind me not to come back here on my vacation.
I'll put it in my blue book.
Luigi, our guests must not leave the house.
Hey, open the door.
I can't, the door is locked.
Well, where's the key?
I don't know, I ain't got it.
All right, stand aside. We'll bust it down.
It's time to get tough.
Bust it down.
I ain't no Superman. You bust it down.
You break it down. Why should I break it down? Break it down.
Oh, come on, boys. Why don't you bust the door down? I got a bum shoulder.
Oh, you've been reading too many Flash Gordons. I don't want to do that.
Somebody's got to open it.
I'm not doing it.
Nice.
Well, what took you so long to open it?
Didn't open the door. It opened by itself.
Sit down. You'll be all right.
Hey, where's Pee-wee?
I don't know.
What do you mean, I don't know? What do you do, just get up and walk out?
That's exactly what I don't mean, nothing else but. He got up out of that bed, walked out of this room, didn't even look at me or say a word.
That's funny.
Say, look here, y'all know one thing? I believe Pee-wee done been turned into a zombie.
A zombie? What do you mean?
You should have seen that glassy stare in his eyes and the way he didn't listen when I was talking to him. Now, you know what I mean?
Zombie or no zombie, we're gonna find Pee-wee and get him out of the spider's paradise, see? Now, the first thing we do is...
Where is your friend?
That's what we want to know. What'd you do to him?
I did nothing. In his condition, he should not be moved.
Well, we're gonna find him and bring him back to camp.
No, I insist that you stay. You see, you're weary, and you see things not as they are, but as your imagination paints them for you. I suggest that you all retire and that Luigi and myself look for your friend. He cannot have gone for her.
Well, maybe you're right. Think I got hallucinations, huh? Yeah, I guess I've been painting pictures, huh? Well, what do you say, fellas? We all get a good night's sleep and talk about it after breakfast, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Horror Man.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
Well, they are the tough guys. Look at them. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, SCHLOCK, you'll never get out of there. Listen, Danny Me's gonna take top floor, see? You, Glimpy, you take Skinny and Schooner and search this floor and the one below. If anything happens, holler. And if you find Pee-wee, holler even louder. We'll meet you down at the foot of the stairs. Come on.
Let's go.
Dang.
I think this is the first movie we've ever watched where the protagonists just straight up overpower the villain.
No.
Just knocks him
Just
over.
knocks him over.
If I'm yellow, use Columbine.
What are you scared about? I'll be right behind you. Go ahead. That's long enough. There's nothing in there.
How are you gonna stop these tough boys?
You can't. They can't be stopped, obviously. But they went on to make 60 more movies.
They're running wild.
Hey, got a match, bud?
So what was that? Maybe someone's trying to break the leaves, huh?
Hey, we ought to have a candle.
Yeah, I'll go get one. You two guys stay right here. I'll be back.
Hey, Grumpy said to wait. I know what he said, but something tells me to keep moving.
Nothing in there. There's nothing in there.
Hey, Pee-wee. Say, you reckon he gonna be in there? I don't know. Maybe. Wait. Don't go in there. You know what he said. Don't go in there. Let's wait for him.
Well, I just take a look and see.
Hey, Skinny. Skinny. Stop kidding. Did you in there? Ain't nobody in there. He's gone. Oh, let me get out of here. Oh, it's you, Glimpy.
Where's Skinny?
I don't know. He done
Glimpy is just
disappeared.
such a strange
Disappeared.
Well, he went in that box and he's gone.
Box, where? Show
Come
me.
on, I'll show you. Come on. In there.
Skinny!
Hey, Skinny! Skinny!
I'll go see. You stay right here. Don't move.
Not a zombie.
Hey,
It's
Glimpy.
just a teenager.
Is you in there? You is, ain't you? Come on now, we ain't got all night. They both is gone. Oh, Muggsy! Muggs! Muggsy, come on up here and help me. Come, Muggs. Oh, I want to get out of here. Muggs! Hey, he's coming. Say, Muggsy, Skinny and Limpy went in that box, and they gone. I went in and looked, but I don't see them in there. Oh, Muggs, I want to get out of here. I don't like this place. This place ain't...
Yeah, it's definitely not Muggs. If you're reaching up that high.
Oh, get out of here!
Look at that grin.
Just yeah, he loves scared people.
Let's see. Don't be in such a hurry.
I'm not in a hurry.
And that is gonna take us to our second break. Well, as you can see, the East Side Kids have finally met Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, they've sure met him.
And hilarity has ensued, am I right? I mean, at this time, you know, this is considered pretty, like, solid humor. I mean, juvenile, to be sure. You know, this is more entertainment for the children. But it's still, you know, I mean, Lugosi is not totally debasing himself here. He's kind of going through
Kind of a dignified kind of air, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they're making fun of him or anything.
No. And that was the thing that the actor playing Glimpy, he was interviewed later, and he talked about working with Lugosi on this, and he said he took his work very seriously and did not like to clown around on set. But Bela had a great sense of humor. He loved to laugh, but not be laughed at. That would make him more angry than anything. You can imagine that there must have been some times where they pushed it a little bit.
Yeah, don't make fun of Bela.
Yeah, and I think that's always in all the horror comedies that Bela Lugosi made. It's this that his image is being used to a humorous effect, but he's never really debasing himself. He's not. He's always playing his roles very straight, right? Like with a very straight face, and I mean, even not a straight face, because I mean, like you saw that one scene where he was like smiling. It's more that like he's in on the joke, right? Like,
Yeah.
Gets
it.
I mean, and he did make 6 more horror comedies after this one. So I mean, it was something that it was work, obviously, first and foremost, but I think he also enjoyed comedy and performing comedy. Obviously, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein came after this, and it's considered a favorite. It is a funny movie. I do. This is an essential movie for me, but at the same time, it is, it did kind of spoil the fun on the monster. It was you couldn't really take the monsters super seriously after Abbott and Costello got their hands on them. But yeah, I mean, this movie has been a pretty good,
It's been fun so far.
Romp.
It's been a romp is a good word for it. We got these boys. They're up in this haunted house. They're doing the. They're kind of doing the Dracula story, right? Where one of the good guys has been presumably turned. I thought it was a vampire. I guess it was maybe a zombie or something.
But again, like you said, they're skirting around the word vampire, and even like there was that bit where they were reading from a book, and those lines that they were reading either or from the book Dracula, or they sound like they were from the movie Dracula, maybe.
Yeah.
And then Lugosi comes out and he grabs the book and he throws it, right? So I don't know if that's again, I think there was an awareness that he's supposed to be this vampire type character, but obviously they were not trying to get Universal rankled about the idea of Lugosi playing a vampire, even if his name isn't Dracula. But I mean, Lugosi, this was like his middle career time, and again, as we're reflecting on our 100th episode, like we said earlier, it's fitting that it's a Lugosi episode because he is the patron saint of the Scream Stream.
He's always been there for us.
Lugosi has always been here for us. We have seen 13-ish Lugosi movies.
Wow. Okay.
I say
including
ish.
This one?
Huh?
Including this one?
No.
Okay.
14-ish. The ish is because one of those movies we don't necessarily count, which was our second episode, Voodoo Man, which you won't find anywhere because the movie is
watched it,
not public domain. So we watched it, but so you kind of can count it, but you kind of can't. Yeah. And then also adding to the ish is Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Right, yeah. Do you count that or not?
Well, we've had that debate before. Do you count Plan 9 from Outer Space as a Lugosi film or not? It's tough. So I say 13 to 14.
I don't want to say no, but because I want to give him credit.
And he is credited for it, but there is some actual Lugosi footage, but it's a bit of a patchwork.
Would he want credit is maybe the question.
Probably. I would think so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's I mean, again, Lugosi is, for all intents and purposes, like the face of public domain horror. Just again, like there's nobody else that we have 13 movies from. There's a reason.
Yeah, who even comes close to that? We've had repeat.
Zucco maybe.
Yeah, we've seen some.
Zucco maybe gets 3 or 4. But
we've had Karloff on.
We've had Karloff we've had him on Wednesdays. We've had him 3 or 4 times. We've had Lon Chaney Jr. on Wednesdays. We've had him 3 or 4 times. we've definitely seen some of the horror greats pop up a handful of times, but Lugosi is the one that has been in every season. I mean, we have watched a Lugosi movie every season. Obviously, we were doing multiple right out of the gate, and then I realized, oh, if I want to watch one Lugosi movie a season, I'm gonna have to start spreading
these
it
out.
out. Yeah, and again, we've got enough Lugosi movies to take us through to what
all the way
to be the end of the show, essentially. And there's still some solid ones in there that we haven't seen yet. And you know, he is such a iconic horror star, probably because so many of his movies are so readily available. You know, I mean, the fact that I have like 3 or 4 copies of some of his movies is because, you know, they're just in public domain horror movie packs. You need stuff in there. Well, Lugosi, there's a chance you're going to have at least one Lugosi movie in the pack. And, you know, we watched some of the better ones early. I'll go ahead and admit that. You know, obviously, I'd say that the pinnacle of Bela Lugosi public domain horror is White Zombie. And that's a movie that it was our season 1 finale. And I mean, that has just been one of my all-time favorites. Lugosi's character in that, you know, playing a voodoo master. I mean, he's setting a tone, you know, and he's got the goatee and the crazy eyebrows, and I mean, he's rocking a really wicked look. I mean, he's a pretty solid villain. And so that's one of the trailers that we're gonna see during our break. Which again is Lugosi early in his career, right? Or early. I mean, the man was 50, I think, already by that point.
Early in his film career.
But
anyway.
in his, you know, stardom, you know, that was relatively early. And then, you know, like we said, tonight's movie comes from the middle of his career, and a lot of that was spent at Poverty Row, but he had some roles at Universal. Like we said earlier, he had a tendency to get typecasted as a butler or, you know, just kind of a useless side character. But in these Poverty Row movies, he's given a chance to be the villain and shine. And I mean, it kept him going. And obviously, you know, like Sears brought up earlier, he was paired with Angela Rosito in Scared to Death, which is another one of our favorites here on the show, which we're going to see a trailer for during the break as well, just because
we just love it so much.
That movie. It is you know, Lugosi's only color movie, and kind of really like the end of his middle career. Like, it was his last like big movie, and then after that he kind of wasn't getting as many parts, and then, you know, after that it was essentially Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn gorilla in the Ed Wood movies. I mean,
it was also his only movie with the woo sound.
Oh yeah, with the woo sound effect and I mean, Scared to Death is one of those that by all like conventions, it's not necessarily a good movie, but it's just held a power over me that I cannot explain, and I'm glad that I was able to pass that on to Evan, and even to Fresh. He still has seen that movie multiple times, so glad that I've been able to share that with you guys.
There's something about that movie.
It is crazy. It is just a strange movie. I don't know if it's because it's in color. I don't know if it's, is it the sound effect and the green mask? Is this because they're like fucking, you know, they're using reverse psychology on us, talking about this green mask? It was like, no, it's blue, and, you know, but they're saying it's green, so.
Yeah, once the movie starts gaslighting you, it just takes on a whole other.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's the gaslighting that makes the movie work. That's why I love it so much. And then we're again, we're paying tribute to Lugosi, so we're working 3 trailers into this break. So we're gonna get a trailer from a later career movie, which we've watched on this show, and that, of course, we talked about earlier, Bride of the Monster. A last hurrah, He was in a few other movies after Bride of the Monster, but Bride of the Monster is his last really starring role where he gets to be the villain and gets some good monologues and gives an energetic performance, and it's Ed Wood too, so you can't beat it. And we've watched all 3 of these movies on this show, so I encourage everybody, if you haven't gotten enough of a Lugosi fix tonight or this weekend, go check out especially those 3 Lugosi episodes, but any of the 13-ish other Lugosi movies that you can find over on our YouTube page that we've watched. Again, Lugosi is just I don't know, he's a staple of this show. I don't know. Is there I don't know what your awareness of Bela Lugosi was before we started the show. Just Dracula.
Really just Dracula. I wasn't I didn't really know, all these, more, obscure old horror movies.
Right.
So Lugosi wasn't, really on my radar, I guess.
Right. He's an actor that everybody knows the image of Dracula, and the whole look and the accent and everything is patterned after Lugosi's performance. But when you start to actually dig into his career and his life, his story is fascinating.
It is, yeah. It's a fascinating, compelling human story.
Yeah, and we've again, in all those episodes, we have talked a lot about the man, the myth, the legend, and so we won't expound on it too much tonight because we have really dug into it a lot. But you can
just go back and rewatch one of the old episodes.
We have plenty of more finales and Lugosi movies to dig even deeper. I got to buy some more books. Is what I got to do. I gotta buy some more Lugosi biographies. I gotta move away from this book. Only has so much. It's only so much of a source, but it certainly helps. So we're gonna celebrate with Lugosi with these trailers. And then when we come back, we're gonna, we'll continue some brief reflecting on episode 100 with some numbers, some stats, some breakdowns of the other kind of varied things that we've seen, and just other thoughts on, things that we've liked, things that we haven't liked, and, just it's a little bit more reflection before we get into the exciting conclusion of our 100th feature film, Spooks Run Wild. So enjoy this break with these Lugosi trailers, and stick around because we'll be right back.
Haiti, land of the voodoo, comes the most infamous cult of all. Bela Lugosi as Murder Legendre.
I see death.
Master of the undead damned. The sinister power behind the white zombie.
Zombies? Yes. They are my servants.
This soul killer takes men from their graves to be his slaves. His instruments of terror, and now this fiend plots to possess a woman.
Only a pin boy, a silver one, and a glass of wine, or perhaps a flower.
Keep it, monsieur. Keep it. You may change your mind.
Not dead? Are you mad? I saw her die. The doctor signed a certificate. I saw them bury her.
Captive in the borderland between life and death. Her brain drained of the life spark. The white zombie obeys the unholy commands of her demon master. As mindless creatures carry out his cursed will, terror explodes in horror and heartquake.
Zombie! Allez, allez!
Never eyes so evil, never powers so potent, never magic so black. Bela Dracula Lugosi as the master of the white zombie.
You're not unaware of my position in this house.
Well, maybe you can tell us about it.
I'm being kept a prisoner here against my will. I'm alone and friendless. They're trying to destroy my mind, Mr. Lee. By innuendo and indirection, they're trying to make me believe I've done something dreadful in the past.
Perhaps I can explain, Mr. Lee. We don't believe there's anything wrong with Laura now. But we are sure something will happen to her mind if she continues to live under this strain.
Just as I told you, they're behind it. Can't I make that clear to you? They spend all their time trying to terrify me.
You'll have to put the blindfold on, and you will know the truth.
No!
Take the girl to my quarters.
Janet's car? Yeah. There's not a trace of it.
Loose. Do you hear me? You will be soon as big as a giant. Or, like all the others, dead.
And we are back. So those were some Lugosi trailers, again celebrating the man himself. And I see we got some good friends of the show in the chat. Sweet Feet and Mr. Fresh Rogan. Hope you boys are doing well. Again, two of our viewers that were there from the beginning. So nice. Appreciate that y'all could be here tonight for episode 100. It is, again, it's wild to think that there are even this many public domain horror movies, and that there were 13-ish Lugosi movies.
Yeah.
So,
I was going back over the list of all the movies we had seen today, and I was just thinking, like, there's a lot of good movies on here.
Which again, I did link the letterbox link with it's a list of all the movies that we've seen on the show, and when you go through the list, there's a lot of solid ones in there. I mean, there's SCHLOCK, obviously we purposefully we did it that way, but there's also you think about
good variety.
It is, like you said earlier with the cocktails, the way that you're always trying to kind of go for a different flavor, a different kind of feel, a different vibe. It's the same with the movies. We are always kind of exploring different subgenres. I mean, and so just to give you a little like breakdown of some of the different things that we've watched, some stats, okay? Like we said, 13-ish, 14-ish Lugosi movies. Approximately 25 Poverty Row horror movies.
Wow.
So
jeez. Out of how
a quarter
how
of
many?
our movies have been out of 125 of them have been Poverty Row horror movies, and there's still more to come. We've had how many ape-core or ape-related films do you think we've had on this?
I feel like we've gotten about one a season, so maybe 10.
You're close. You're in the ballpark at 12.
12. Okay.
had
We're
12.
at 1.2 ape movies a season.
Yes. Our average it's all right. It's at least one.
What season did we have 2 in?
Probably 1. Again, I was batting a little high in the first season. I didn't realize, again, how long we'd be going for. And so, I wasted some of the good ones, and doubled up a few times in the first couple seasons, but I learned my lesson. Silent films. What do you think the over-under is there? You think we're above 1, under 1?
I'm going to guess 8.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey.
We have a winner. You're right on the
Hey,
line.
I got it.
We have had 8. Yes. We have. I'll give you another one. See if you can get how close. How many movies directed or produced by Roger Corman have we watched on the screen?
6.
9.
9. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, almost won a season. We've doubled up some seasons. And there's another one along Sears. What he's thinking. How many ape? Wait, did I already ask you how many ape-core movies?
Did we?
I think I
say
did
that?
ask you that already. 12.
12. Yeah.
All right. So this is an interesting one. What do you think the ratio is? Black and white movies to color movies.
We've seen more black and white movies, I think.
You would be right. Yep. It breaks apart in a pretty.
We've seen 100. I think we've seen how many color movies? I think we've seen 26 color movies.
27.
Ah!
Dude, you're right there within 1, dude. Come on, Price is Right rules. You're right there. Yeah, 27 colors, 75 in black and white. Because we've seen over 100 movies. We've had some specials and stuff, but this is the 100th official episode. So, it's a little over 100. That's the stat I needed, Fresh. How much more? Well, and again, just for the record, most of the drug use was in the later films. So we definitely would be talking Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn gorilla to the Bride of the Monster time frame versus tonight's movie. I think he just liked a good, what is it? What's Lugosi's favorite drink, Evan?
The Boilermaker.
The Boilermaker. He enjoyed a good Boilermaker, but I don't think he'd gotten into the morphine quite yet. But, I need to have those numbers. What's the morphine numbers for Lugosi look like? Let's see. Those are most of the kind of stats that I got. I think how many Mad Scientist movies?
Oh, Mad Scientists?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if we've had more or less than 10. I'll just say 10.
18.
18. Okay. Yeah,
some of them they aren't necessarily like the most prominent character. They don't get a lot of screen time, but they're still like a mad scientist.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's almost 1 in 5.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. The way that it breaks down, it is kind of surprising. I mean, so I was gonna break it down with some more monsters and things, but I mean I didn't really get. I mean, in terms of like creature features, which kind of covers a wide range, that makes up like 40 of our movies.
Yeah,
so
we
most
got a
of
lot
them are
of
creature
monster movies.
features. Others are more like, I guess, psychological, grounded killer things. So it's funny though
Like
the way
tonight's movie.
Like tonight's movie, right? Exactly. But it's funny the way that it breaks down, right? It's we've got so many different subgenres within this world of public domain horror. We've had all, as we talked about earlier tonight, we've had all different kinds of monsters. We've had
pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, and I mean,
have we had a mummy?
Just last week we got our first mummy movie.
Yeah, we have had a mummy.
It took a while, but we finally got our first mummy movie. Yeah, we've had everything. I mean, by 100 movies, you would hope that you've had just about everything. So we did. The other thing is when you just think that across how many decades the movies that we've seen, we've gone from the 20s all the way up to the 80s.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how much film history I've learned just by osmosis through seeing these these movies.
There's a lot more to it than just we're sitting here watching horror movies. There's definitely a little bit of an education that's come along with just seeing.
You hear that, YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube, okay? This is educational. So whoever wants to claim this shit, just know we got you on the educational side. We're educating the people about public domain horror. But no, again, like you said, you're learning, we're learning about film movements. We're learning about kind of the evolution of different subgenres in horror, right? About important actors, important filmmakers.
And when color movies were with two
strips. Yeah, back when you couldn't even make green. And now it's one of our primary colors. Look at how far
when they invented green.
It took a while. No, but that's what I love about, again, the show goes on long enough, we'll get a movie, a horror movie where they use the 2-strip Technicolor, but it's the opposite, and they can't really make blue, but they get a lot of green, and it actually looks really cool. Because how often do you see people using a lot of green in a horror movie?
Yeah.
So, there's some early 30s horror movies that we talked about on the Dr. X and Mystery of the Wax Museum. But yeah, I mean, we just learned about all this crazy shit. I got all kinds of crazy facts. So it's the fun of this show. And we will continue that for 100 more. No, we'll see. We got plenty of movies, so we will be continuing the fun here on the Scream Stream. Speaking of continuing the fun, we have got to get into the hopefully fun and exciting conclusion of Spooks Run Wild. And where we left off, Pee-wee is missing, and all the boys are technically missing right now, and so the counselor is finally going to the police, while his girlfriend's also out looking for the boys, and the boys are exploring the house. I guess that's, it's not very complicated. It's all pretty straightforward. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Lugosi's just kind of been going around this house. I don't really know. We saw this doctor early on.
Yeah, when is the Van Helsing character coming back?
Again, that's another notch in that this is a Dracula takeoff. He's definitely supposed to be kind of the, this monster hunter. Monster, because we can't say vampire, right? Yeah, so maybe he'll come back in the mix. We can only hope. I mean, you would hope that the writing could at least be that competent.
Yeah, well, they got to go back to the graveyard to get the silver bullet from that guy.
Right, yeah, I mean, he is, because of course he's got the silver bullet. Wouldn't he? Well, anything else before we get into it, Evan?
I mean, after this, last little bit, are they even gonna have trouble with Lugosi? I feel like the stakes have been lowered once you knock the villain over.
Yeah, he's kind of, you can push him around. He's not really gonna put up much of a fight after that. It does kind of take the wind out of his sails. So yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. These boys are running wild again.
They are. They certainly are. On that note, we are going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of our 100th public domain horror feature film, Spooks Run Wild, right now.
Constable, have you seen any of our boys around town?
No, I haven't. Why?
6 of them missing, and I thought they might have come in for the bright lights. That isn't all. Linda went out to search for
That's
them,
right,
and she hasn't shown
Glasgow.
up.
Of course, the Playhouse.
That's right.
It sounds like Joe here might have taken a shot at him.
Has anybody asked Cherry?
What do you mean took a shot at them?
Well, I'm caretaker over the burying ground. Can't have anybody prowling around dead night, you
Yes,
know.
but why shoot at a bunch of harmless kids?
Oh, they only used buckshot, Jeff. Couldn't have hurt anyone bad.
Well, where'd they go? Where are they now?
I'm afraid
Just
I've got some
buckshot.
bad news for you, Jeff.
Walk it
I want
off.
you to
Who
take
are
it
you,
easy
Dick
like.
Cheney?
Come on, what is it?
Well, you remember hearing about that monster murderer on the radio?
Yeah?
We got reason to believe that he's hiding out in the old Billings house near your camp. Joe here thinks he saw the lads heading for the house. Wait a minute, where are you going, Jeff?
I just told you, my girl's out there in the woods.
Oh, but you're not going out there alone. I'll call in some of the boys and we'll go with you. That's a dangerous maniac out there. Hey,
I'll
Hank.
call in my toughest boys.
There's a dangerous maniac out there.
Hey, just like the book said.
Full of dirt.
Go ahead, open it.
Oh, you open it.
Maybe it ain't supposed to be open till Christmas.
Go ahead, open it.
You take the other end.
Okay. It's locked. Are we lucky?
Maybe we better try the other one, huh?
Oh, I'm sure they're locked, too.
What's the future in locking coffins? Hey, maybe we better get back downstairs, huh? I don't think Pee-wee's up here.
I don't think so.
I'm not so tough after all.
So would I. Hey, ain't that Pee-wee?
Yeah.
Well, let's get him.
Just a minute.
That's funny.
No. Hey, Muggs, look out, the monster! Quick, stop!
What did he even jump into? Oh my god.
Climpy, you sure scared the heck out of us. What did they do, make you like us?
Glimpy.
Where did you
I don't
come
even
from?
understand
Well,
that
I'm trying to
nickname.
find out. Where's Muggsy? Oh, he's right around here. Muggs.
What do you have to do to get the
Muggsy!
nickname Glimpy?
Muggs! Muggsy! Hey, Muggs!
He's glimping all over
go
the
out, did
place.
you? No.
I
Well,
guess.
Take a look.
Hey, ain't no joke no more. Hey! Hey, what's the matter with you?
Wait a minute.
All these D's and dims and don'ts.
This guy didn't go to Juilliard.
It's locked. Just a minute, we'll break it open. God, you like him more on the brain? God, open it.
It's gonna kill him.
Just give it one good whack.
There. Hey, Muggs, you're lucky. We was just gonna leave.
I couldn't get out. Must have got stuck. Hey, was that you in that hope chest?
Don't excite yourself, Muggs. You've been through an experience.
An experience? I've been through a catastrophe. And that's a beautiful
Classic
boy.
Poverty
Now,
Road.
listen,
Keep it in a
we
wide.
can
Don't go in for
We
close-ups.
take a powder. Now let's make a search.
What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to relax, like you said. I'm going to take it easy.
Oh, dictator.
It's dark in here. Hold on, if I can find some matches in this place. Oh, some matches. Oh. Well, I ain't scared now. Some folks might be, but I ain't. This sure is a nice, cozy room. That's what it is. Nice and cozy. Some mighty nice folks must used to live here. Can tell by this furniture. That's what my mammy said. I wish I was with her right now, too. But this sure is a nice room. Yes, it is. Sure
What?
Is.
What?
What? A white spider? That must be the ghost of the Black Widow. Get out of here. Scat. No, get out. Get away. Get away.
Okay.
Nice. Who is he? Us and our
Don't bother me. I don't
Friday the
smoke, so
13th
I ain't
special?
bothering you. That's all right. Please, Mr. Spider, come back and web me a ladder so I can get out of here right now. I'm getting out of here.
What? That's sick.
Hey, you chasing him? I ain't chasing nobody. I want to get out of
Are
here.
you chasing him?
I'll tell you later. Let's catch him.
Where'd he go? Come on. All right, got him. Come on out of there. Let go. Come on out. Let go of that.
Nothing gets past these little tough guys. I mean, these Bowery boy. I mean, these
Well, now we got him. What we gonna
dead.
do?
I mean, these East Side kids.
I wish we had a mousetrap or something. Hey, let's put him in there. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey, come on. Throw him in there.
Tough little boys.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Oh, and this shot. That's in every movie, every Lugosi movie.
Hell yeah.
He's walking towards the camera. He's looking at the camera. Oh, he's getting closer to the camera. Ah, he's going right there. Oh, fun. This house has a slide.
Yeah, well, if it doesn't, I will.
Hey, look at this gun. It's just a beauty.
Hey, don't. The slide will be loaded.
You kidding? Look, it's full of cobwebs. Even the trigger's rusty. Yeah? How do you like that? Pikey! And I haven't got my hoodie. So what? They're out of season. There's no wearing them much.
Hey, Muggs, wake up. What are you snapping your fingers like that for? You woke me up.
Didn't you hear the gun go off?
Gun? I told you to find Pee-wee, not shoot him.
We didn't even get to see him.
It's a fine thing. See, well, if you want something done around here, you got to do it yourself. Hiya, pal.
I don't see it. I don't see that.
I'm the toughest boy.
With this suit of armor and this candelabra, I'm unstoppable.
He's still coming.
I'm vampire proof. Or, I'm sorry, monster proof.
Go away, Mr. Tin Man. Now go away. We ain't bothering you.
Okay, all right, and just cut away from that.
They're
sure,
dead.
Sure, all right. She's not lost, and nothing bad happened to her at all.
You were the young lady from the camp?
Why, yes.
There's a mad killer in the Billings house, and your boys, the boys who are missing from your camp, are there and in his power.
No.
I'm going to their rescue now.
Then I'm going with you.
Why does it cut to that terrible shot of her?
Good girl. Come.
She wasn't even talking in that shot. I don't know why they kept cutting. They just cut it to for a second.
Me out in the hall, I got the idea to put it on. Not bad, huh? A mighty frosting.
See, look here, Muggs, but don't you do that no more. Don't do that.
Why not?
Man, you like to scare us to death.
Sorry, Bela
I'm gonna
Lugosi,
get Danny.
1947,
You guys
color.
wait down here. I got something to talk over with you. And if Pee-wee comes in,
67
you
minutes.
hold him.
All right, we got him.
Pee-wee!
Man, don't Murphy look funny in them there aluminum pajamas, though.
Oh, my God.
Boy, this is too much. Say, what, you back so soon?
Well, he said he went to night school, right?
Say, I thought you went to look for the other guys. That's right. What you trying to do, mix us up? What is this anyway? Look here. There's two of them. Okay, I give up.
It's fucking, these just goons, these hoodlums.
Hey, Pee-wee! Hey, Pee-wee!
What movie was that set for? Jesus.
Fooled it, didn't I? Very funny, very funny. You didn't fool me for 1 minute. What's the idea of playing games? What are you doing wearing that suit?
Oh, my tailor told me to wear like iron.
I gotta wrap this hook iron around your neck. Come on, let's get out of these animated sardine cans and find Pee-wee. Hey, Stripper.
Huh?
Got a can opener?
No, but I got a pocket knife.
Uh-oh.
Look out, there's a little skeleton behind you.
Hey, wait a minute. Danny and Pee-wee are missing. It's up to us to find them or we'll all be missing.
I wish I was missing right now.
What was the point of putting on that armor?
Let's go down to the cemetery and talk this thing over where nobody can hear us.
Look here, Muggs, do we have to go out there?
Why not?
Well, I just don't do my best speaking in them there graveyards.
Aw, come on.
Either they cut a lot of stuff or it just doesn't make any sense.
They put it on, they were like, oh, this is a
That's
terrible
just your
idea.
imagination.
Get this off of me.
Look here, Limpy. If anything happens to me, you notify my mammy, won't you? Sure. If something happens to you, who'll I notify first?
Just notify me first and nothing will happen.
Yeah, this is the most painted on the Stones have ever looked in one of these Power Hero movies.
It looks like wallpaper.
Oh, boy.
Ah!
He didn't even scream.
All right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, where was you?
I was sharing a room with a skeleton.
A real live skeleton?
You ever see a real live skeleton?
No, sir, and if I never do, that'll be too soon.
Now, if we can find Pee-wee, everything's going to be all right.
That's how I got in the room with him. I was following Pee-wee and he went in a secret passage. A secret passage? Where?
Right down here in the cellar. I tried to find a spring to it, but I couldn't. Hey, maybe if we all tried. Come on, I'll show you. My roommate, Mr. Bones.
Boy, ain't he skinny?
Come on. How do you like that? It's open now. Pee-wee must have come back.
Hey, this looks like the place where the plot begins to thicken. Let's take a look and make sure. Come on.
Okay.
All right, man, we ain't waiting any longer.
Holy cow. Did you see that?
That was totally unnecessary.
He was raring to go. All right. We got the posse.
Bro, we're all just gonna open the doors and
all
get in
keyed
the car
up.
with-
Now listen to what I gotta say. Remember in that book what it said about the monster? You can only scare him with two things, silver bullets and blessed iron. Well, we ain't got neither, so there's only one thing we can do, and that's to get tough. Plenty tough, see? What do we do with the fellas back home when he stepped out of line?
Knock him out.
Exactly.
That clinches
That's what we're
it.
gonna
These
do with
little
that
tough
Vulture, and the little
guys
termite that
getting
hangs
tough.
out with him. Get it?
Sight.
It's time to get tough.
Place be just like the subway if they had lights down here.
I wish the train had come through.
This thing's green molded.
Very rarely do you see the town mob coming in their cars.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like Mad Max.
no torches, just revving vehicles. Yeah, Sweetie, no, they're definitely not kids. But come on, look at the way that they scrap. They're
Couldn't stay away,
they're
could
kids.
you? The criminal always returns to the scene of the crime.
Who are you?
You don't remember me, but 20 years ago in this very house, I was a living being. I had flesh on my bones, blood flowed through my veins, but you scared the health out of me.
I was never in this house until tonight. You have made a mistake.
It is you who has made the mistake, my friend. For years, you have wantonly taken the lives of millions. So, I am going to take yours.
Oh, Bela. Nice. Yeah, look at them all just tumble down the stairs, you know?
Hey, this guy's out like a mackerel. Well, get a rope.
Only
quick, we'll tie him
30-year-old
up.
man
Yeah, hurry
boys
up,
can
hurry
tumble
up,
down the
hurry up.
steps like that.
All right, boys, make those knots
As
good
a
and tight.
30-year-old man, I don't want to imagine
Hey, Moshe, let him
tumbling
have it.
downstairs like that.
Hey, you kidding? Leave him for the cops.
Oh, let me punch his skin. Say up to that, huh?
You heard me the first time. Hey, what do you say we pick up Pee-wee and get out of this furnished morgue?
Hey, maybe there's a reward for this guy. Boy, if there is, my mother won't have to take no more washing.
Why not?
I'll go out and buy one of them sporty roses and go around and collect it for her. Hold this for me, Chauncey. Hiya, fellas.
Pee-wee! Hey, you all right? Sure, I'm all right.
Say, what happened to you guys? What happened to us, he wants to know.
You've been running around the house like I walking and sleeping. We've been chasing after you.
Yeah? Last thing I remember is that guy giving me a pill and then I went to sleep. I sure had some
So he
fun
did
dreams,
slip
though.
you, Mickey.
that across the board. Well, can you get up?
Sure I can.
Hey, fellas, do something to scare me, will you? I got the heat cuts.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, nothing? We're still friends, ain't we?
This way.
Like there's spotlight for the
I know, it's been the whole movie.
We get a lot of use out of the spotlight.
You gotta love that's the old school technique for candlelight is they just have the spotlight, like
All right, you men
no
surround the
filter,
house.
just
When you hear a
fucking
shot, break
hard
in
light,
wherever you are. I'm going in the front
following them
Oh,
around.
boy, that's it.
Here we go. He's the monster.
He's the real monster. What a twist.
What a twist. They're really scared of this house.
This must be it. It's locked. We'll force it.
Hey, what is this?
Haven't you fellas heard? The deer season is closed.
What?
Rosie, are you all right?
What are they doing?
You boys can thank your lucky stars we got here in time.
Yeah, why? That man's a monster.
You're nearsighted, bud. You listen to me, I'll tell you the whole story. We was all going to town, see, and we decided to take a shortcut through a cemetery when some drunk takes a pot shot at Pee Wee and clips him, so we brought him up here to get him all fixed up. At first, we thought this was a haunted house, but it's not. And if it is, he ain't haunting it, because we thought he was a monster, too. But like I said, he's not. Just a magician. And a very good one, too. Just come up here to practice some new routines. This guy here is his assistant, the best in the country.
What about that head on the plate?
Oh, just that's the old salami trick. You know, where the girl carries the guy's head in the tray? Well, that was the guy.
That's Linda.
What, an unrelated monster?
We got an unrelated monster in the mix?
Well, it's an old haunted house. These are just...
Just a magnet for these guys.
Shoot the lock. Shoot the lock.
Everybody's just shooting at the lock. I'm confused.
Fire in there a minute. I got a better idea. What is it? Listen, there's a window in there, see? You fellas slip me through the skylight and I'll be all set.
No open danger.
That's nothing. Give me that light. You keep that vulture's attention out here.
Yeah, rap on the door,
Get
boys. Go ahead. Come on, Mom.
Yeah, just get the kids just to bang on the door. I mean, that's easy. Go unlock the door.
You all right, Linda?
Oh, I thought you'd never get here. Jeff.
Let me get him up. Cut it out.
Hey, look who the monster is. Hey, we get the reward, Sheriff.
Wouldn't be surprised. I sure had us fooled there for a while, Van Gross, or whatever your name is.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
You fool.
Hey, let's go figure out how we're going to spend that money.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for piece de resistance, Nardo's famous disappearing cabinet. Good magic deserves lovely assistance. Will you help me, please?
Why, yes.
Don't forget, that's my girlfriend.
All right. No harm. She just disappears.
Gonna bring it back? I hope.
I think that's probably the easiest trick I ever seen. I think I can do it.
You can?
I certainly can. Not only will I find a young lady, but when I do, we'll oscillate.
Now, why don't you try it?
I will. Just give me 5 seconds and I'll have her.
Why are we so wide? Cut in.
I got her, Professor. Oh, have I got her?
Is the movie over or what?
Oh my. Wow. Got him. That I did not see coming. What did it? It's a monogram picture. What else could it be? That was Spooks Run Wild. What did we think of our 100th feature, Evan?
Man, that was a lot of fun. You know, it's a comedy. It made me laugh. So really, what more can you want?
There were some genuine laughs in there. There was definitely some eye rolls and some groans and some, par for the course with these Poverty Row Lugosi movies. But yeah, I mean, it was romp. That was the word we used earlier, and I think it's still appropriate.
Just a bunch of tough little boys on a haunted romp.
That should have been the blurb on the poster. Yeah, that's the truth. That's exactly
tough
what
boys.
That's these little tough guys. Little tough guys. It's time to get tough.
That clinches it.
It's time to get tough. It's just like this was an 80s action movie. This would be the time where you'd get the 80s pop song, you get a montage after that. Like it'd be, I mean, they were really ahead of their time. They got the one-liners down pat. Yeah, I mean, no, it is funny because there's a lot about this that does not make any sense at all. At the beginning of the movie, I said one of these people is a future Oscar winner. That was one of the screenwriters, Carl Foreman. He was paid $25 for the story for this, $200 to write the script for this. And this was like one of his first jobs was writing East Side Kids movies. And then he went on to be nominated for an Oscar for screenwriting 5 different times. And he was also blacklisted during the blacklist and had to testify before Congress, and he wouldn't name names. So that was why he was blacklisted, but he still ended up getting nominated for things and then won an Oscar. He wasn't credited for it, and so he was awarded the Oscar posthumously. The Academy did a lot of awarding Oscars to blacklisted screenwriters who weren't credited for work. In the 80s, they did a lot of revising and giving out Oscars to those guys. So Carl Foreman was one of these writers, and he's known for High Noon, Bridge over the River Kwai, The Guns of Navarone, a lot of westerns, war movies, but they always had kind of a, not a communist bent, but definitely a little more of a liberal kind of a push to them. His movies did, but yeah, I mean, so it's always funny when you have one of these Poverty Row movies that it's like, oh yeah, Oscar winner here working on this for an early job. You never expect it because these movies, they're just so economical. They're so fast. This movie, I think, was only made in a week and a half, and budget couldn't have been any more than a few $1,000s. 10 to 20.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the benefit of the house. Were they using existing sets, do you think, or?
I'm sure they were. Yeah. I mean, I will say that the whatever basement or vault or whatever they were at the end, as fake as the walls looked, I mean, that might have been just made for this, just in a very slapdash way. But some of the other stuff, yeah, I think were probably existing sets. I mean, again, Monogram, they had at least made one. They had made Invisible Ghost with Lugosi by this time, and had done a couple other murder mystery type things, and so I'm sure that these were just already around. But yeah, I mean, this is I think this movie was relatively successful. I think Angelo Rosito said that it made $2 million at the box. I don't know if that's true. That, again, if you're only putting in a $10,000 to $20,000 investment, $2 million is a pretty good profit there. And they did go on to, the East Side Kids did go on to make one more movie with Lugosi, which is in the public domain. We will get to see it eventually, entitled Ghosts on the Loose. So,
okay, is it a spiritual sequel?
Essentially, yeah, it's definitely not a direct sequel. It's kind of a similar. Just it's a haunted house kind of a thing, but it's a different scenario with them getting there. They're not troubled youths going to camp. They're more...
You know, I will say I noticed that they kind of ceased their shenanigans a little when they were super terrified. So maybe that's how we deal with the troubled youths.
Yeah,
we sick a vampire on them.
Well, yeah. So when they say that you're trying to scare them straight, well, you're really trying to
there we
do,
go. We double down on the
you gotta scare them
part.
with actual monsters.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you're definitely gonna think twice about your decisions when you're facing down a set of fangs or a pair of red beady eyes.
Yeah. Okay, kids, welcome to DARE class. Our next speaker is Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. I mean, let me tell you, kids. I used to be a respectable doctor with a promising career, and then I did take drugs and I threw it all away.
They revoked my medical license. Now I'm just Mr. Hyde.
No Dr. Jekyll for me. Yeah, I mean, this, I think it's a pretty good way to celebrate our 100th episode.
I think so.
Pretty solid way to get what is essentially at this point halfway through.
Feeling pretty content, here at this. It kind of feels like we're at like a milestone, like a road stop,
It does. I mean, it definitely 100 movies of any relating theme is it's a big,
that's a big chunk
a tall
of film.
order. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to watch 100 movies of anything. So the fact that what we have here is 100 public domain horror movies of all different decades and subgenres and everything else. I mean, we've learned a lot, we've seen a lot, we've enjoyed a lot. Yeah, I think above all, and again, like we've said on the show, it's not about good or bad, it's about entertainment. And I think with just about every movie on this show, we have been entertained. And I hope that we have entertained you over 100 episodes. I hope that, I mean, again, we are just over here, doing what we love and winging it and vibing. Yeah, I mean, again, this show, the whole vibe of this show is that we're just friends hanging out, watching some cheesy, fun movies, and we're joking and laughing and learning a little bit. We've got some facts and some fun connections to make with other things we've seen, and just like anytime you're hanging out with your friends, it's
a good time, and y'all have been cracking me up.
Yes.
The chat's been amazing tonight.
We really appreciate everybody that's been here tonight. Sears, thanks for being here. Kathy, really good to have Sweet Feet and Fresh Rogan popping in. I know we also Glastra's been here the whole night. Thank you, Glastra. I believe. Oh, who was it? I want to make sure because they've been watching us for a while now. I'm scrolling through. I'm missing it. Why do I not see them in here? It is. Oh, I can't find it.
Everybody, you know who you are.
You know who you are. We really do appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. I know that we did also have we had No S'more, and we had rather vexed to thank you guys for being in the chat this evening. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great celebration of 100 episodes and the conclusion of our summer schlock returns. It's pretty schlocky way.
It's been a very schlocky summer.
It has been a schlocky summer and a pretty schlocky conclusion to it. So can't ask for much more than that. And we'll be off for a couple weeks. Of course, we've got to round out our mini-sodes. We've got to finish off the Phantom Empire.
Right, so we're not going away completely.
So we will be at least for 2 more nights with you, enjoying some public domain content, and then we'll have a couple weeks off, and we'll be preparing for spooky season. It will be upon us after that.
It's almost here.
It's going to...
The most wonderful time of the year.
It really is. And on this show, we do it upright. We really, really, really love this time of year. So can't wait to get into all of that. But we've got some time to rest. So of course, while we're away, you can catch up on any of our past episodes on our YouTube page at Screamstream Live. Be sure to like, subscribe. I will be updating. We'll be, again, we didn't broadcast a lot of our features for this summer schlock live on YouTube, so those will be uploaded. The minisodes will be uploaded. We've got to catch up on spine-tingling tales, a lot of good stuff. So in these 2 weeks that we're off, don't worry, there'll be plenty of stuff uploaded on our YouTube page. So that'll tide you over until we get started with spooky season. So very, very, very excited for all that. Of course, when we bring you our first film, you want to stay up to date on that, our first cocktail of the season, you can find that information over on our Instagram page at Screamstream Show. We're also on Twitter and TikTok at Screamstream Show. If you want to follow me or Evan on the socials, you can find me over on Twitter at Spakenstein, and Mr. Evan Sink is on Twitter and Instagram at Category Cursed. Anything before we sign off for episode 100, Evan?
Yeah, I think I want to make a revision for my team to take on the Avengers. I think forget everybody else. I gotta put in these tough little boys because.
Well, every team's gotta have some.
If they can take down this bunch of monsters, I'm sure they can just dogpile on Hulk and Iron Man and the rest of them.
Yeah, they'll be the absolute muscle of the Avengers is no match for the scrapping power of these little tough guys.
Tough little guys.
Don't worry, we will get more. That is not the end of them. And we hope to be celebrating more public domain little tough guys and more public domain horror for many episodes, many seasons, many years to come. So until next season, sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.